Hello, hello.
Hey, morning, y'all.
Morning.
Morning, morning. Should have everybody's tokens ready to go, but let me know.
For Losslyn, for Poked, not able to see the health numbers, but I am able to see the name in health bar. And for Buddy, his name, but no health.
Yeah, so I turn off the numbers, encouraging communication. But Mr. Bastadio just needs to get his token set up a little further.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello, hello, welcome.
I do need Karanis. And when you have
You need what?
it correct, I uploaded Karanis to your game.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that. I just didn't have your name. It's still under Kurioke. Okay, let me get you.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I figured I'd just get you when you jump in. And then I'm gonna seem all confused, like I have no idea what you're talking about. Should have permission. Let me get your token all set up.
Oh, I'm on there twice. Oops. Yeah.
Getting a little feedback from you over there, Tom.
Me?
Yeah, just a little static.
I wonder what that is. I think that just might be me breathing in the microphone. Does that help a little bit?
I guess we're all guilty of that from time to time. Yeah, no worries. I guess if you just want to stay muted when you're not chatting, it might help too. Alrighty. Appreciate you guys all for showing up early too. And for Mr. Lostland or Brian for jumping in last minute. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah. Glad to be playing this morning.
Alrighty. Tokens, Bastadio or Doug there, if you want to update your health and such, it should pop up. Um, and then everything else should be good. I'm just going to take a quick second to grab my last minute things I need for the desk. If anybody else needs to do that as well, then should be able to kick off pretty much right on time. Oh, and fair warning, I guess, of course. I've already kicked off my stream. It's just a preemptive thing to get out of the way. You know, a million things going on, of course. If you want to stream, feel free. It's not a high profile thing necessarily, so you're not going to be broadcasted to the millions and billions and billions. But you can pick up some streaming hours or whatever, so feel free.
Why would you deprive people of watching us play? That's got to be one of their great Saturday morning joys, like cartoons, right?
This is kind of cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Very loosely animated. Yeah.
Like old school cartoons.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Obi, looks like you got yourself up and running through all that effort last night.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah, that was a fun time. I appreciate any and all help that I got last night trying to figure that all out.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just glad it worked for you. Well, anyways, at least you know all the hoops for that part of it. Anyways.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Alrighty. So I'm trying my hand at writing some of these dungeon crafts, and of course, time always gets away with you so much. I had like 6 or 7 planned, and dang, my cutoff's in August, so I might just get this trilogy out of the way. I'd have to be happy with it. That being said, can't do it without you guys helping me kind of fine-tune this and just seeing any additions, revisions as I read through it and such. So, hugely appreciative of you guys. And you all be credited as playtesters. If you have a specific name, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just go with your Discord handle. So if you want to change that, just text me on Discord, or tell me like, I don't really want my name on there, or whatever. It's fine with me. Just let me know. But you definitely deserve credit, as this is a DC Dungeoncraft, and it's still in the pre-stages, the author-only kind of running stages. So just keep that in mind, and I definitely appreciate you guys for helping me work some things out. Just the way that this one came out by design, it just ended up being very social. There'll definitely be some dice rolls, of course, throughout the game, and I did include a boss fight. I think any module without at least one fight is a bit lacking. That's just my opinion. So if anyone has an itchy trigger finger, which is quite fitting for this setting, you'll at least get your fix there towards the end. And I would consider these modules kind of like a follow-up from the Spelljammer Academy. So they are a bit like, if you were coming from Spelljammer Academy, at this point you would really only have like maybe 3 magic items, and probably one of them wouldn't even be good for you. So there's certain things where it's balanced for that. But I think that's enough for me. Could turn it over. I know Mr. Tom, or Flowbot today, you have played the first one with me, and I'm definitely greatly appreciative of you coming in for the second one, although I do believe it was with a different character, right?
Yes, it was a different character. I forget which one, but it was not Flowbot.
Okay. There's a story award there, so just gotta scratch that real quick. No worries either way, though, of course. So now let's start off in typical fashion, now that I've gotten my old Dungeoncraft spiel out of the way. I don't normally run games this early on a Saturday, but it's 4th of July weekend. You got to make things happen. We got to get this thing on DM's Guild, so I can write the next one. Everything's rush, oh my god. But now we'll just kind of pick up in regular fashion. I picked a funny quote for this one, and you'll see in time, of course. It says, "What strange creatures brothers are." So if you ever read these modules, they usually start with a quote that kind of sets the tone, and that's the one I picked. And continuing on with some of the background, if you had played the first one, you would have just really came fresh off of Spelljammer Academy, and you would have ran into this Illithid, who's a bit more of a rogue type, not quite evil or anything like that. has sated the hunger for brains for now, I suppose. But instead is more hungry for scholarly things, and is aiming to use the technology of her people for better uses. So kind of is working with the two little gnomes there on Spelljammer Academy to design this ship called an enemy, and that's kind of what happens in the first module, is some of the testing of that ship, because it really is designed to be sent deep underneath the waves. And there's really only one other ship that can do that, that's popular, called the turtle ship. So this is a new kind of design that would like sucker onto the bottom of a turtle ship. You might be able to get 3 or 4 of them on there. And if anybody's curious, there's a little write-up. It's in the handouts. So there's a little page you can look at that'll have just the layout of it. And then in addition, there's some information and so on as you go down, so you can kind of see what it's capable of. As this trilogy of modules does kind of focus around that ship in particular. But anywho, there's been ancient artifacts hidden all over the multiverse, and one such item is lying deep beneath the waves on a water world in realm space. A rogue mind flayer named Estrin has believed that this might be a remnant from an ancient race, and with the help of Spelljammer Academy, this Illithid has drawn up the blueprints for the spelljamming ship called the Anemone. A prototype has been tested by brave heroes at the Academy, revealing a need for a special part that will allow the space anemone ship to survive intense pressure. A bit of a tongue twister. And so now we find ourselves at the Rock of Brawl, a hub of trade among other things, of course, where almost anything can be acquired for the right price. There's 2 brothers here running a successful scrap shop, and they should have the part that Estrin requires, but unfortunately, there seems to be something wrong, and the terms of the deal have suddenly changed. The price has soared drastically, and the Mind Flayers put a call out for anyone willing to help get to the bottom of this. So that's where we'll pick up with you guys, and here's some hooks. Of course, this is supposed to be kind of following up after Spelljammer Academy, so maybe if you even didn't play the first one of this series, you might have just been at the Academy and heard rumor of some of the stuff going on and wanted to take part. So could just be a Spelljammer graduate. If your background is Wild Spacer, or if you consider yourself, that. Of course, adventure is always beckoning at your doorstep, living amongst the stars and such. Rock of Brawl is pretty famous for being a good stopping point for those of many different backgrounds looking for adventure. Or, of course, you might just be a refugee from the Xerixian Empire if your character's playing more into that stuff from the hardcover book. So, as you guys will find yourselves here on the Rock of Brawl in the company of this rogue Illithid, it would be... actually, you each would kind of materialize from the crowd here at the docks of Brawl, and you'd see an Illithid standing proudly beside her creation, this space anemone ship we've described, and you hear her voice drip into your minds, each of you, pleasant, more than you would expect at least. This is the Anemone, and you must be the ones who have answered my job posting. And she introduces herself. I'm Estrin, recently coming from the Spelljammer Academy on Toril. I've got quite a plan in mind, and I need the bravest of individuals to come along. But, of course, we're all going to need to get to know one another if we're going to be on board such a small vessel for a length of time. So, what could you tell me about yourselves? And she'll gesture a little tentacle there towards Lostland.
Well, Lawson will say that's kind of a long story, but he'll begin. Lawson Kangju is a male Devil's Tongue tiefling, Paladin Oath of the Crown, level 7th. He is from the Morhoran Empire in the East Faerun, serving as a city watch in Candaleth. It is mostly an urban sprawl with a large port faculty on the Elmber Sea, with a population about 20,000, mostly tieflings and humans who worship the ancient Mahondran pantheon like himself. It was one of the surviving Empire's cities left, standing after the Spell Plague. Eventually the city began to fall. The city's leadership sworn fealty to the High Emnamaskar Empire, from the Sea of the Fallen Stars and the Masculine Station troops in his city to ensure its loyalty. So Lawson joined the City Watch to be a buffer between his people and the Unmasculine soldiers, and to keep the peace and keep the good people of the city safe from any injustice. Lawson always tries to rise above in situations and be a good example because of he being a devil's tongue tiefling. However, he ended up getting called to the leadership of the city. They decided that they, gave him praises on keeping the peace between the people and doing such a good job for the Unmasculine Empire that they offered him some additional training. So they sent him to the Spelljammer Academy, where he graduated, but he knows that they just kind of wanted him out of the way. So he is here. He is a graduate, and I think he played your Mad Effect Retribution, but he did not play the other module leading up to this one. That's awesome.
Very cool. Sounds like you'll be an amazing addition here. Alright, and Bastadio, another character I recognize.
Yeah, Bastadio is an old man in tattered robes. He'll just nod and puff on his pipe in reply to the illithid. Bastadio is a level 8 transmutation wizard who flopped out of Spelljammer Academy. Held the last athletics test when it came to that obstacle course. But prior to that, he was a wizard toiling away the years in the laboratory, his laboratory in Waterdeep, trying to turn lead into gold. But he finally picked his head up and said, I want to sail among the stars. So he signed up for Spelljammer Academy, and now he sort of toils around the Rock of Brawl, just sort of tootling around like an old man would, looking for new things to turn into other things. And that is Bastadio.
Oh, there's so much to see, so much to do, especially here in the chaos of the Low City docks. Organized chaos, of course. You see these ships replace one another in hoists, transport the cargo back and forth as you kind of walk into this strange scene of individuals. Or am I supposed to be here? I guess so. And you look over to see a little guy, but none the fearsome, I'm sure. Tick.
Yes, Tiksha, he goes by Tick because he's a small bug riding on the back of a large animal. He doesn't get the reference, but everybody seems to chuckle when they call him Tick. He's got a shield of expressions on his left arm, but he still doesn't have human expressions down right, so it's always off just a little bit. He tries to use it to express his own expressions, but that's with a bug face. It's hard to tell. Next, he's missing his right leg from the knee down. There's a peg there. He's wearing a merchant's scarf. Yeah, he's definitely not a pirate. He grew up on a ship that was a merchant ship, not a pirate ship. He has to tell everybody, but they were totally pirates. And yeah, that's Tick. He's mechanically a level 5 Beastmaster Ranger. Oh, and next to him is his trusty steed, his mobility support creature because of his disability. Is flying a Pteranodon with goggles on. And this is Terry.
Just as you're kind of, everyone would probably hear your little mandibles clicking away, but that voice that kind of drips out into telepathically in everyone's mind from you is equally returned here in this mind flare, as she just kind of drips into each of your minds as well with her communication. Maybe a bit unsettling at first, but you could get the impression, just like Tick, I'm sure as well, it means no harm. And she does say, well, I'm hoping we won't have to strong arm too much, but it's good to always have that option. Glad to have you aboard, Tick.
Oh, and I am a graduate of the academy.
Nice. Cool. So you would have heard of their trip to the bottom of the ocean and back. Funny enough, they were like, wow, we had a 88% chance of, well, actually, maybe that's kind of in bad taste right now. But
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote that
Mason
before that
Markets.
happened, so
Yeah.
it's,
No worries.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm terrible. Anyways, is it Karanis?
Yeah, it works. So, or Karanis, but Karanis will actually start out by thinking to by just having surface thoughts to the Illithid, like, just let my story go. It's harmless. In case the Illithid's thinking is reading thoughts, but Karanis will introduce himself as the fourth cousin twice removed from Keldon Aronson of Waterdeep, and he is a part of the Merchant Council, and he's been lately living on this luxurious space train that has been traveling the astral sea called the Ad Astra. Out of character, this is my Ad Astra character. Mechanically, he is a. He'll also mention that he has met Artur Morland as well, which is actually. But mechanically, he is a Cyanide Rogue 8 changeling, but he currently appears human.
Her facial tentacles kind of curl up in an odd way that you probably recognize as a smile, maybe, as she kind of says, "Oh, we all come from different places and have different pasts. We've all done terrible things, and hopefully we can all make up for that as well, or whatever you're hiding. It's okay." And she looks over to a little robot. I will say this is honestly the fiercest auto gnome I think I've ever seen in my life. Please introduce yourself, Flowbot.
All right, so Flowbot 3000 looks like a halfling-sized classic Cylon for those of you who are Battlestar Galactica fans. And he steps forward and says, "Greetings, friends. My name is Flowbot 3000. I am built to explore." He was built by someone at the Spelljammer Academy to go to different worlds and understand civilizations that had long since passed. But something happened with his programming, and he turned into a Battlemaster fighter. And this is his first Tier 2 adventure, so he's all excited to get rough and tumble if necessary. But he has other skills as well. So he's... that is Flowbot, Battlemaster fighter with a couple of tricks up his sleeve.
The mental kind of muttering coming from the Illithid is like, it's just like shuffling some papers. I thought I ordered that bot that was going to help us explore Carberry coming up soon. No matter, this one will do. Welcome. And last but certainly not least, Pocket.
So Pocket, looking a little sheepish given her really intimidating company. She works on the equivalent of like a scrapyard on her home planet with her clan of orcs. She's supposed to keep her eyes on the ground, feet on the ground, everything, but her eyes are always on the stars, and decided for herself that she wanted more than anything to be an adventurer. Orcs are wont to just go and conquer, take territory, infiltrate the planet, deplete it, and leave. But she wants to just adventure and get some stories under her belt. So she snuck her way into the academy on a leaving Scorpion ship and ended up among this very storied crew and is hoping to get a story or two under her belt. She's a half orc. She'll call herself a tall 5 foot. Mechanically, she is a vengeance paladin, hexblade warlock.
All right, welcome. And in the same vein, the Illithid gestures for you guys to board the anemone for a little more quieter place to communicate, or at least focus on the mental conversation. You guys can see the layout of the ship. It's pretty small, and there's a few different levels to it. But you guys kind of just hang out on that first level. here in the main deck. And so you kind of see this, looks like a sea anemone for what it's worth, just kind of writhing there in a silent breeze. It's pretty easy to climb aboard with a deft step or two and a grab of a tentacle, perhaps. You come up to this top part, and you can just open a little hatch and climb on down. It's a little bit cramped there, where the main deck does function not only as a bit of quarters, but also where the bridge and the helm is. But there's a mess of tables and chairs. You see star charts and things all kind of cramped up in this little room. So maybe a little stuffy, but it's comfortable for the most part. And you guys can have a quick conversation here and understand why you've been gathered. Again, her mental voice kind of broadcasts out to everybody at once. And she says, "Welcome aboard the Anemone. This is my pride and joy, built for a specific purpose, of course. I've learned of an ancient artifact lying deep beneath the waves of a water world here in realm space. To survive the great pressures, the ship needs a special part to be attached. I've struck a deal here on the rock. The purchase was to be made from a scrap shop located in the Low City that is ran by two brothers. On the day of the deal, however, the price suddenly soared exorbitantly. I'm not sure why it would increase so drastically and quickly, but my research has pointed that this is not a typical pattern for these siblings. While the Rock of Brawl is typically a safe place, danger does lurk around every corner. If I'm to get to the bottom of this, I'll need someone to investigate in my stead, for I am no warrior. I have 1,000 gold to be offered as a reward to anyone who's willing to help, with half being given up front. I can give you directions to the scrap shop. I've learned it's called A Reliable Scrap and More, and it appears one of the siblings, named Rhaegar, runs the daily affairs, while his brother procures the scrap. My first attempt to inquire why the sudden shift in price was met with veiled hostility. I fear they may have a prejudice against mind flayers and are reluctant to do business. Well, rather than just manhandling your way to get the part, I'd be much more interested in seeing if my hunch is correct. And perhaps we could show them that we could be friends after all and business partners. Violence or disreputable actions will lead to a bad reputation here on the Rock of Brawl, and that would not be tolerated under my employment." And she holds up a little facial tentacle there in question, as if anybody has any objections.
This one has no objections.
All good here.
I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this.
Of course, if you find yourselves in danger, I would not be surprised for you to defend yourselves. But if we're all understood and agreed, then this should be yours. And she holds up a little pouch with 500 gold in it as an upfront payment. Okay, she says, "Here's some rough directions. It's not too far here in the Low City. And the shop's called A Reliable Scrap and More. And, just keep in mind self-defense, for we may have future deals to be made here." Okay, there's no further questions from her. She's just kind of going to be sitting back here on the ship. And you guys are free to head out whenever you want. You got 500 gold now, too. Rock 'n' Brawl's a big place. If there's anything you wanted to buy or whatever, you could always do that. You could always head to the scrap shop whenever you want.
Let's go gambling with that 500 gold. I'm kidding.
Dice poker.
Dice poker? What is dice poker?
I guess out of game. That's it was a mechanic from a different mod that we had ran previously. Dice
Sounds challenging.
You never want to play a plasmoid boss for his gold.
Oh, okay. Pocket takes out a notepad and furiously writes this down. Yes, okay, understood. Yes, never play a plasmoid for the. Okay, makes sense.
I suppose we should head for the scrapyard then.
Pocket reluctantly agrees to go to a scrapyard. She escaped into space to hopefully get away from a scrapyard and is headed towards one.
Estadio will say to the Illithid, "This ship you want us to take to the bottom of the sea, is it safe?"
Oh, well, yes. There's a couple gnomes I was working with back on the academy. A couple of you might remember them as well, the engineers there. Um, there were some questions about when we returned, but we found we're lacking the right part, and so here we are. If we can get this part, then I'm 99.7% sure that we can make it to incredible depths with no risk of implosion.
Stadia will scoff. "We're all dead."
Yeah, but won't that be an adventure?
You only live once.
Indeed it would.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Well, if our endeavors this day, or however long it may take, go well, perhaps we could continue on with that in the future. But I fear if we can't get this figured out with these shop owners, then we're not even going to get there. Carpery seems like a pretty wonderful world here in realm space, but if we can't get the ability to survive the great pressures underneath, it's just not going to happen. So, step one, we got to get this part. It is the strangest thing, I've sent some communications ahead, talked with them, and everything seemed to go. And then I showed up to the shop. They looked at me like I was crazy, demanding a much higher price. I only ever did see the one brother there. He seemed pretty stressed out. Looked at me like I was, he looks at Losland, no offense, but a devil. I guess that's the pot calling the kettle black at this point, huh?
I've heard humans call us worse in my city.
How eager were you to procure this part? Were you like, oh my god, I have to have this? And they're like, yeah, all right, yeah. We'll double the price because we know you need it so bad.
Well, I've actually heard great things about this organization. A reliable scrap, and everything I had led to this going perfectly well. And then suddenly the deal shifted, almost at the drop of a hat.
Are there other scrap places in town that we could, check there, see if the price is comparable?
Unfortunately, this is a very specific and unique part that we're looking for. It seems like A Reliable Scrap, they have a strange way of coming into different ship parts and things. I've heard great things. I'm not sure if we'd be able to find it elsewhere.
I nod knowingly. They're in league with pirates.
Ooh, pirates. What was the name of the part again?
Well, I'll admit, I'm sure it would be a series of numbers and letters, but it's just a part that'll help us be able to survive the great pressures deep down below. I wouldn't want to bore you too much with the tinkering details of it.
Okay.
And how much did you say? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. That was exactly what I was going to ask.
And how much did you say it originally cost?
We had worked out a deal for only 10,000 gold. It seemed quite expensive to me, but you could understand the uniqueness of our situation here. Really, the only ships that can go down to those depths are the turtle ships. But we're kind of trying to shrink down what they have to a smaller size, and I think we've nailed it down. But like I said, all of a sudden we come here, now it's 100,000 gold. The rate of inflation I just don't understand it. I'm afraid there's something worse going on. And yet they looked at me like I was very much not welcome there.
Indeed, there's more to this story. We must go.
Yeah, let's head out.
Okay, taking a quick note. Okay. So you guys exit the anemone. Estrin kind of waves you on, waiting patiently. Seems like you're eager to just get it going. So you follow her directions. It's really not far here, as you're in the low city of the Rock of Brawl. If you don't know about the rock, it's kind of like a potato-shaped asteroid that's been sliced in half. The top part is more where you'll find people. Usually, you got a kind of a caste system going on here: low, mid, and then the upper city. Guess that's easy enough to follow. But a lot of the good old action, of course, is here in the low city, and that's where you find yourselves. The docks are here too, so even the richest people typically will have to come through here at one point or another. And in a lot of these bars and places and stuff, you'll find the nobles and the scoundrels rubbing elbows alike. But you guys kind of just ignore this hubbub and watch your pockets and such. Try to stick together in the chaos here of people just calling out things, ships docking and leaving, until you find this little shop. So you try to stay focused, definitely avoiding eye contact with those that are looking a little too eagerly, until you see this grimy, pretty unremarkable building. But it's easy enough to identify for what it is by the mounds of material ready to be broken down into usable resources. And immediately the grinding and pounding of metal on metal rings out around you. The acrid smells of oil and grease kind of intensify in the scrapyard. Up around you and above you, of course, the twinkling, swirling cosmos of realm space provides a nice, constant dim light. But as you're in the city here, there's oil lamps and magical sconces that kind of keep things brightly lit at the appropriate times or places. You know, if you're outdoors, it might be lamps. Indoors might be some nice sconces and things. Of course, you might hear some ringing of bells in the distance, which kind of keeps everybody in check for what time it actually is. And you are free to enter this shop.
Make sure the door doesn't have a "No Pets Allowed" sign before I go in with my mount.
One more time.
And make sure there's not a "No Pets Allowed" sign on the door.
Oh no, it's
Before I go in, because it's mobility mount. I need it to move. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, it's fine. You can fit in there, so I don't think anyone's going to be complaining off the bat. So you push in, riding Terry.
Yes.
All right, you come in here and see that it's a little bit more well kept than the mounds of material and such outside, but still pretty grimy. You know, you feel like as much as you try to clean a place like this, it just still would never fully be clean. You see a little middle-aged, I shouldn't say little, but just a middle-aged human guy there of average build. He's kind of got rounded features framed in black curls, and he notices you enter on your trusty mount there and kind of straightens his modest tunic.
I'll hold up the peg leg and ask if he has any prosthetics.
Wow, prosthetics, of course. Of course we do. You know, those are quite popular around here, and it's surprising how often people lose them.
I'm just gonna make small talk while I look around and try to, not case the place, but just get a feel of the place.
Also, would like to do the same.
Pocket would also like to check it out.
So you all push into this little grimy shop and, pretend to be picking up little odds and ends here, and there's stuff for sale in here, but it's very mundane. Mostly just little trinkets, kind of bits and bobs to machines and things like that, and of course just like raw material too is kind of mainly their shtick.
Are there any dashboard accoutrements like a doggy on a dashboard kind of deal that would go on a ship? Packer would like to grab one of those.
A bobblehead.
Yeah, bobblehead.
Okay, you find one of a little goblin, but like the spring is like a little too extended. Like it just kind of, it kind of works.
All right. Yeah, Pocket grabs that. Walks up to the counter. Yeah, I mean, I think I may have found what I'm looking for. I wasn't sure if we were looking for anything else. You guys, how's everybody else's search going?
Steve Laughlin would ask him if, by chance, if he would have a Iridium Q36 space modulator.
Oh, we have the 234. I know it's not the newer model. Unfortunately, that one had just sold. This one actually is only 50,000 gold. So, and he like kind of pulls his necktie a little bit, and you see he's like sweating a little. So just let me know if anyone else has any questions. I see. We also sell raw materials by the pound or ton.
You got quite the operation going on here.
Oh, things have been good.
Can we make an inside check? Is he lying about things being good?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. This is Pocket says this is quite lucrative for a scrapyard. 24 insight, nice.
You can see that he definitely is feeling pretty pressured and nervous about something by his demeanor there.
I'll telepathically relay that to the group.
Audio will ask, so what are some of your most popular parts? What's really in demand at the moment?
Well, the easiest thing to acquire usually is just the different metals of sorts. You can find those all over and bust them down, as long as someone has the tonnage capable to get them off the rock here. That usually keeps us going pretty well. But my old brother, he shows up with all sorts of things. He's a great scrapper, and as you can see, the store usually stays pretty moving. I mean, we live modestly. Things are okay.
Any big scores recently?
The last, not quite. I'm just trying to move what we have here.
So while everyone's talking, Flowbot wants to just look around and see if there's maybe anything out of the ordinary, like somebody watching, using some sort of magical means or something like that. I'm kind of keeping an eye on this guy.
So how are you?
Yeah, is there any? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Is there anyone else in here other than the shopkeep that we're talking to?
You just looking around, he really is the only one here, and this is mostly kind of just like a counter, some ledgers and things of that nature. A few of the smaller things, that wouldn't go out in the scrapyard. So it's a pretty small little shop room, and yeah, he seems to be the only one in here. And I mean, the previous question, you were trying to kind of look around to see if the room was being like tapped or anything like that.
Yeah, something like that. He seems nervous, so somebody's keeping an eye on him. It might be somebody across the street too. He'll just discreetly go outside and see if there's any signs of anybody else keeping an eye on the place.
Okay, I guess give me just a perception check on that. Alright, you kind of case the room up real quick. Can't really see any kind of ears or eyes. You take a walk outside and give it a few, see who passes by, who might be looking out of a window in the same street, things of that nature. And it's not really turning up too much, really. You see just business as usual kind of carrying about.
Jocelyn will inquire if he works by himself or does he have a salvage team that goes out to help collect parts for him.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, my brother. Yep. You can call me Rager, and my brother Jaeger. He's the one who produces the material here. Single-handedly. He does such a fine job. We, of course, break it down here at the site and sell it.
By any chance, does he need any help? What's going out and trying to salvage anything?
I hope he doesn't. I'll admit that it's been a 10-day ago since I've heard from him. Doesn't typically last this long. But, he goes on these excursions, and I try not to bother him too much. I don't ask him too many questions, and yet it's been a little bit longer, so of course I've had to make some changes around here without as much material coming in. But of course, our prices are still very comparable with other shops around the area.
Where was he when you last heard from him?
I hate to say it, but I'm quite busy here with my shop here to manage, and I really didn't press Jaeger much for where he was, going and coming back with this stuff. As long as it was coming in, I was pretty happy with what's going on. So I'm not exactly sure. He was always a little, I don't know. He didn't really tell me much about what he would do out there. I always assumed it was a bit dangerous, and perhaps he didn't want to relive it, or maybe even just a bit boring, and he didn't want to bore me with it. But either way, I'm usually here in the shop myself, so.
I'm sure he'll be fine, my new friend. Tell me, have you ever heard of a ship called Space Anemone?
Well, a bit of rumors here and there about that new ship in the docks. The first of its kind, I've heard, but frankly, not much more than that. And, well, if we're not going to bust it down, or if they don't want to,
Behoove you, as the owner of a pretty lucrative shop, to be, part of the pioneering of making sure that new spacecraft is in ship shape?
Hmm?
You could be part of something that's the first of its kind, and I feel like that would kind of help to get your name out there.
Oh, yes. I think I remember now. I'm sorry. Yes, that I think your captain visited earlier, if I recall. Excuse me. Didn't seem too happy to see me. I mean, we locked eyes and they left.
We're hearing that it's stuck at port because it needs a part.
Well, we have the part here. I believe my messenger had sent ahead of our, recent doings of the deal. And strangely, the captain just came in and didn't say a word. I thought it was a little weird.
Well, her kind does her not to speak, so probably why she didn't say anything.
If you're a business-minded gentleman, we could take that part off your hands.
Do they? Well, I guess in characters, I have a ring of mind shielding back in. Perhaps maybe they're wearing a ring of mind shielding and they couldn't be talked to. I don't have it currently. It's back at home. But
It's pretty awesome, actually. I think I'm gonna add that. He's like, "What? You mean this thing?" And he holds up a ring of mind shielding. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be it. Can you hear me now? And I try to talk to him
He
telepathically.
like takes. Oh, drat! Thanks, man.
Not a problem.
You know, actually, my brother gave this to me a short time ago. Said he came across it in one of his ventures. I didn't think it did anything at all, honestly. I just thought it had a cool look to it.
Feels like your brother's salvaging more than just wrecked ships.
You know, I dearly love my brother, and I'm very much missing him now. I've been so busy here. I haven't even really had time to break away to put out a missing person report. And you know, frankly, this is getting to be the longest time he's ever been out on one of his excursions. But I always trusted him. I wish I knew a little more, but all I do know is he would mention from time to time, what was it? Captain Ken Red and a galleon, I believe. What was it he said it was called? It always made me chuckle. The Fairy Starlet. The Fairy Starlet. That's... I don't know. Sounds quite comical to me, but my brother was always a fun guy to be around. Really do hope he's okay out there. Surely someone at the docks would recognize such a vessel as that. And look, as shrewd of a businessman as I am, perhaps things could return to normal around here. If only a Jaeger would be located. I don't suppose you could do that for me. I know that's not why you came here.
Well, I think we have a fairly capable crew that could probably help track him down in exchange for, what we need.
The thing that would definitely help along with that, to get us on our way, would definitely be that part. And that could be crucial in our endeavor in finding him. So if you could help us out in any way in that regard.
I wish I could. I see what you're doing there, but unfortunately, a deal will have to be a deal. My terms have been sent to your captain, I believe, and I have the part here. I would only need the gold in return, but of course, I would agree to return to the original terms, and perhaps we can get all this settled, but only if my dear brother is found.
Yeah, I don't think his brother would be salvaging anywhere where we would need that kind of hole.
Yeah, but as long as we keep the deadline open-ended, I think we'll be okay.
Is he saying that finding his brother is a condition to us getting the part? For whispering together?
We need... I'm trying to say that we need the part in order to try to find his brother, so he's like helping us help him kind of deal.
Exactly, yeah, I like that, yeah. Certainly we're not going to go find his brother first and then get the part.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. They've already changed the deal once, so...
Yeah. So we try to get the part. We go on to find the artifact, come back, and, eventually find his brother. Who's to say that we don't find him eventually,
Oh, that open-ended. Okay. I just thought we were going to get the part first and then go find his brother. But you're talking about going to find the artifact first, too.
Yeah, we get the part, we find the artifact, and then find his brother. Who's to say that his brother is not where the part is,
Well,
I don't know. I read a lot about
the store.
Yes, the part is here. So we get the part from this guy, tell him that we'll find his brother. Don't tell him when, we'll just say we'll find him and then kind of go gallivanting. And then, I read a lot of books about pirates, so this is just very exciting to me. Just seems like, right up their alley.
No, it's mostly just attacking other ships and taking their crews and selling them.
So it's more sensationalized for the novels. Okay, get it.
Yes,
And I
yes,
start writing
very
that
much-
down. I start
Very
writing that
much
down.
so.
Man, I'm starting to sweat over here. Excuse me, what are you all muttering about over there? Do we have a deal?
How much for the bobblehead?
Oh, I'm sure you'll understand, but only 50 gold.
Okay. And so if you could do 50 for that, how much for the part?
Oh, that's 100,000 gold.
100,000.
It's very unique. I believe it was shrunken down by expert mages from a turtle ship itself. Quite remarkable, if you ask me. One of a kind. Probably. I've never seen one. But yes, the original deal was much lower. And I'll admit, I just don't have any material coming in. Not for the past 10 day. And if that's the way it's going to be here forth, I've got to figure things out quickly. Get some money together to hire a new crew, or perhaps to find, hire a whole ship and crew like yourselves to find my brother. Maybe I'm at my wit's end.
Well, I'm sure you could hire our ship and crew, but we would need the part in order to get out there.
I'm not sure my brother was ever venturing deep enough below the waves. I've never heard any mention. We've never gotten anything of that nature in the shop. I will not be strong-armed. I am a very shrewd businessman. I've dealt with riffraff before. I know a pirate when I see one.
Pocket
He
takes
looks
off the
clueless as
tricorn
hell.
hat.
He starts shaking. He's like, I'm not a fool.
Well, perhaps we should go look down at the docks, and maybe we'll be lucky enough that this Captain Kinred and their Fairly Starlet will be at the dock for us.
Well, I hope this would be mutually beneficial for us both. Perhaps we can both save some time and money. But I fear if you don't come back with anything soon, I may have to close shop and think of things from the ground up. And there's many tough times I went through with old Jaeger. He's my older brother. He really did look out for me. I had all sorts of odd jobs to make it here, doing cleaning and organizing for the upper crust of Brawl. My brother was always off doing his thing. I came back. I fear he may be the one who saw the darker side of the rock here. In hindsight, perhaps kept me a little more sheltered. He kind of starts his shoulders start to shake a little. Oh, where are you, Jaeger?
Bust apart and we will find your brother.
For the original price.
So that does appear to be his,
The original agreed upon price before you changed the deal.
That's what he would like to do. Yes. He kind of straightens back up, professional to the end. I will. I'll return to the original terms of the deal if you could find where my brother has gone.
If you throw in the bobblehead, then it's a deal.
You drive a hard bargain, but in good faith, I think I can make that happen. It's yours. I think that was in the trash pile anyways, but it's all yours. It's all yours.
Yes! My first pirate booty! I did it.
Nods approving.
Oh, have you seen the backside of Pocket? There's some pirate booty right there.
Oh, amazing.
He starts to pick up some papers and things on his desk there, and he's like, "Now, where did my ledger go? If I can't get these orders straight, it's going to be the end of me." As he kind of starts to like resume his work there.
Well, friends, it seems like we're being dismissed. We should head to the dock see if we can find anything out about this ship.
When we're passing all the supplies outside, I want to look and see if there's any kind of obvious markings, like what they might have salvaged us from, like name tags, from ships or
You could see if you have an expertise for ships, perhaps proficiency in ship vehicles. You could even pick out like individual parts.
I'm proficient in space vehicles.
Yeah, like you'd be like, oh man, that's definitely like one of the pincers of a Scorpion ship, for example. But everything's in the process of just being completely broken down and dismantled into raw material. And in that vein, you have these big cubicles of sorts. I mean, massive, just full of a huge pile of just raw material, so much that it's all falling down and kind of coming out. I guess that would be the ideal situation. You can even see now where a lot of these shelves and huge cubbies and things are like half empty or just have a little bit left on them and stuff, as if things have been drying up since there's not as much coming in anymore.
Nothing that stands out that this was like pirated.
Really, the only indication would have been your interaction there with Rhaegar, and he seemed to be a pretty business-minded guy, and not much more than that. As if his intelligence makes decisions that his lack of experience drives. If that makes sense, but it seems like he has good intentions at heart. Okay, you guys almost strong-armed him. That was close. Oh, yeah.
And they got a bobblehead out of it.
I was like, DM
I think
sweats.
that's a win, guys. We got a bobblehead.
I'm going to add that ring of mind shielding in too. That's really funny detail and would make sense actually for the story point. So I appreciate that. And of course, if there is any feedback too along the way or after, feel free to message me or put it in my DM Talis's chat or whatever. Because I definitely take all of those seriously, and I have incorporated things on my last adventure and definitely plan to on this one too. That comes from you guys.
But be careful of the murder hobos that will just kill them and take the ring.
I know it's definitely there, but
just be aware.
Just try to come up with some warnings to begin with, like disclaimer. Please
Get turrets or something in the shop or something.
Oh my god. Maybe I should, honestly. I'll put a note. I don't know, some people will be like, that's the challenge I needed. Okay.
Shootout in the scrapyard.
Yeah, that little intro. Oh, go ahead.
Please, guy.
Oh, I was just going to say that this little intro into the shop could offer a lot of different opportunities. Like, maybe he's nervous. Maybe there's a gang in the area that's hitting him up to pay protection money. Maybe the adventurers can help him out with something like that. Some potential side quests in the salvage yard to try to get something back that was stolen. Before we ended up helping with his brother or something along those lines might be something you could slip into as like bonus objections.
Okay, cool. I took a note there. We're about halfway on our time too, so we'll see how everything fits in because it's supposed to be a 2-hour mod. But obviously we're gonna take a little longer than that today. But yeah, there definitely is room there to expand. And I guess let's keep running through it as you will be traipsing back and forth a little bit here on the Rocker Brawl. I know it's not always not long distance travel at least. So it really only takes 10 to 20 minutes to retrace your steps back to the Low City docks there in search of Captain Red and his ship. Cacophony of noises and sensations is just as you left it a short time ago, of course. And the rainbow swirl of a realm space is an epic backdrop above and around you. And as you come into the multitudes of beings thronging the planks here, you start to just kind of assess, perhaps split up a little, each kind of looking how they might be able to help out and participate here. And you start to notice there's a few just events that'll unfold / people that look interesting to talk to. And so it'll be a bit of a one-on-one in some ways, although we do have 6, so 2 of you can team up in one sense too. And we'll see how that goes. Let me see real quick. As I'm going to start with Karanis. You kind of standing there as you watch your new friends, kind of everyone starting to spread out. You don't sense danger here on the Low City docks necessarily. There's an odd sense of government here that goes a little deeper, but borders on lawlessness in a way, but also the utmost respect for other people and things of that nature. So you do see the occasional strange being walking down, like an illithid or perhaps a beholder or something of that nature. And of course, if anybody's new here, they might be a little tense or afraid around beings like that. But as long as everyone's respectful, it's the government doesn't need to get involved, which typically seems to be best, as the underside of the Rocker Brawl is like a prison colony where they force everyone to farm and stuff, and it's not so good. But anywho, you guys kind of dispersed, feeling safe enough to do so, but just trying to find out any information you can here. And Mr. Karanis, as you're kind of just standing there, perhaps hands on hips, trying to assess the docks, as it really is just chaos painted out before you. I'll need you to make
flamboyant.
One more time.
Brandis looks flamboyant.
Oh yeah, you're thriving in it then. You're loving this. I'm wondering how you're about to dive in and get what you need. But all of a sudden, you need to make a quick perception check. As you barely feel a little hand slide into your coin pouch of your pack, and you are able to kind of swat it away, and you see a little child there, a kind of grubby face and ratty hair, definitely a little urchin that was just trying to get a quick pickpocket in, but is now standing in front of you.
Yes, it looks like you are needed. Actually, I will psychically link to this little kid. And so I will just talk to him in his mind. It looks like you need a little more growing to do before you start to pick everyone's pockets. Perhaps in exchange for that coin you were about to take from me, you might be able to give me a little information.
And so the hair's kind of long. You can barely tell this little child is a girl, and of course when her mental voice kind of at first is a little shocked. It's definitely a daintier voice there, as she'll say, "Oh, I didn't mean to, Mister. Please, just let me go."
Well, like I said, perhaps we can do a little trade here. This shiny coin for a little of your help. You're young. I'm sure you've seen plenty around these docks that the taller folk don't expect you to. So I'm looking for a certain a ship called the Fairly Starlet. Have you seen it around?
Oh wow. That sounds like a really nice ship. She kind of softens up a little bit. I bet it'd be full of unicorns. I think I dreamed about a ship like that once.
Yes, unicorns are quite popular. If you get the point. Yes.
You're kind of funny, mister. You were going to offer her a coin?
Uh-huh.
How many gold pieces?
One shiny gold coin.
All right. If you'll make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Let's knack that.
Okay, and then I think I did forget to mention earlier too, but now that I'm reminded suddenly, inspiration to everybody earlier for your beautiful intros. Glad to have y'all here with me this morning.
Well, I got a total of 12.
You can visibly, or not visibly, I suppose, but you can audibly hear her stomach start to rumble as she takes the coin and kind of looks at it with not ungrateful, but just kind of and kind of tucks it in her grubby tunic there.
I will slip another 2 coins into my hand and offer them.
You could make another persuasion check.
It's also with advantage.
With advantage.
Sweet.
Oh,
25.
sweet.
A 1 and then a 25.
Okay, so she takes the couple coins there, and she says, "Well, I do hang out around here a lot. I see some things. So what do you want, mister?"
Well, have you seen the ship about? You apparently haven't.
Oh.
Yes, we're.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like an amazing ship. Sounds like it'd be pink and sparkly, but I've only seen one that's kind of close to that. It was really, really red, like earlier. And she holds up her pant leg, and you see the scrape on her knee. And she's like, when I fell and bonked my knee, it's the same color as this. Kind of points to her red scuffed up knee.
Yes. Perhaps that is the ship I'm looking for. And did you say where that was again?
Well, I was headed off to bed when I was seeing it, but I'm not sure. As could have been a few days ago, even. I don't really keep track of that stuff too much. I just trying to make sure I get to eat every day. That's how I know if it's been a good day or not.
Well, thank you for the time. I hope you find some delicious food you can purchase with that money. Try not to spend it all in one place. And yeah, all this time while he's talking in the head, he's juggling and trying to perform for the little kid, and he'll let her off with a little warning. Next time, try to check out the person before you try to sneak a coin from them.
Okay, I will. Thank you. And she does seem extremely grateful to make it off unscathed there. Okay, and then I think we're going to run through some little social encounters here for each of y'all, and then I'll have to double up on one, but I think the next one I would go to I believe Bastadio would probably be the next here, as you're kind of scanning the picture painted before you, revealing very little. You're almost straining those old eyes to see the details hidden when a damselfly ship descends and settles into place. Wharf hands and others begin to swarm the ship and start the process of docking until you see a robed figure gently floating from the deck, somehow meeting your gaze. He walks up and almost looks to start delegating work orders to you, and then realizes his mistake. My apologies. I'm the spelljammer for this fine vessel, and I almost thought you were on to relieve me.
I would be honored. What a vessel you have there. Where are you coming from?
Oh, we've been around the garden system as of late. Even ran into some pirates out there, pursuing us
pirates.
doggedly.
Tell. How was that encounter? I bet you have quite an adventure.
Indeed. Just a routine stop. It's not my job to question where we're going or what we're doing. But as long as I get us there and get us out safely, you know what I mean? He gives you like a camaraderie or a very like understanding nudge on the shoulder.
I'm sure your expert spelljamming skills obviously, brought you into port safely. Well done, my man.
But of course. But if we're swapping stories, a few of our voyages ago, we were out by the Celestial Body Garden. It's quite a wonderful thing to see. But we had no time to enjoy the sights, as we were pursued doggedly by some pirates. I even got close enough to them. I had to have my backup relieve me for a moment. You look just like him. It's strange. Anywho, but I ran up to the dock to cast a well-timed fireball to separate us. Strangely enough, I even heard their captain yell, "Jaeger, get the lead out and fire that ballista." It was the strangest thing. But it did give us enough time to escape the pirates. They were right on our tail.
Sadio raises an eyebrow to that. Treachery. But your bravery and skill proved to win the day. Good job. Now, yourself at home now that you're in port, and Pistadio will offer him a gold coin. May I buy you the drink of your choice at the local pub?
You must have known. I was actually just headed off to the Beholder myself.
Enjoy. Let me stay and regard your ship at port while you relax.
That's very kind of you, sir. I've enjoyed this. This will be a great break. My mistake for thinking you were someone else there. I think it's the beard.
Who exactly did you think I was?
Oh, just my backup spelljammer here. I thought I was to be relieved. As you can see, I'm off to get a drink. And now with this coin...
I'm relieved that you made it to port. And then Bastadia will scurry off to his companions and tell them that we have news of Jaeger on a pirate vessel from the Garden system.
Color me shocked.
Okay, so let me see. You know what? I think it would be appropriate, perhaps. I don't know. Let me roll a dice over it. Actually, no, I think I know what to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to group some of y'all up. But I think I'm going to group up Flowbot and Tick.
Nice.
So you guys do seem to be pretty...
The tiny squad.
You're themed appropriately, and if we're going with the tiny squad, this actually works out perfectly. As you guys kind of trot off, start to mill about, looking for clues together, until you find a team unloading cargo with a great crane powered by magic, both arcane and mechanical. One of the workers, called a hostler, looks like they would know a lot about the ships coming in and out. And you wait a moment until you see a halfling hop out of his machine and dust his hands off.
Flowbot walks up to him and says, "Greetings, appropriately sized friend. How are you today?"
Appropriate sized, eh? Well, you must be from the burrows like me. The day's going well, friend. Thanks for asking. How's it been for you, little bot?
Well, to be honest, we've had better days. We're looking for a friend of sorts. Perhaps you've seen somebody. He's a tall, short, fat, thin man. Is that the correct description, Thick?
I shake my head no. And then I'll give the description. We got a description of Jaeger, correct?
I guess you guys didn't really ask.
I'm just gonna give the description of his brother because
Fair enough.
it's all humans look alike to Dry Green.
Tall, short.
You know, I was just about to say the same thing. That's a funny joke there. Look, I might be able to help you a bit, but I'm just swamped here, my friends. Perhaps if you could help me out with just a little bit more of my work here. I got to get this last load secured. Then I can probably take a break with you lot, and maybe we could even break some bread.
I can help you do your work a little bit more efficiently, and Flowbot will charge up his hand and cast guidance on the halfling and say, maybe that will help you complete things better and faster.
I'm eager to see what you can do. I've already got the bundle up and out of here. We just need to wrap it up. I'm not going to get it done with the machine there, but if you want to help your friend, there's twos of you, maybe we could see what he could do. So if you want to cast guidance onto...
Yeah, Tick is he's used to loading and unloading cargo. He was a slave on a pirate ship.
We'll cast guidance on Tick and say, let's get this done. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Give a thumbs up, 4 thumbs up.
Okay, and that will be a sleight of hand check from you to get this bundle secured that he's kind of pulled up with this machine, okay. And then of course you'll have guidance on it.
I will use my inspiration to roll with advantage.
Actually, can I help him as well? I have decent sleight of hand, not proficiency, but maybe that might save the inspiration.
So you want to do the guidance or do you want to help?
Is it I can only do one or the other?
Yeah, I guess they both be in action.
Okay, I'll do the guidance then.
That's an 8. I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Well, here, I am built for success. Let me give it a try, and I'll cast.
Real quick though, with Tick, did you want to use inspiration, or are you going to go with the 8?
I already did. I rolled it with advantage.
Okay, so unfortunately, as you're trying to help him out, you kind of fumble it and you cause the bundle to unravel. It just starts to spread and fall everywhere. Mostly these large planks of wood and things of that nature. Looks like it's going to take some time and effort, and unfortunately, the little guy here kind of is, oh my goodness, no! I was just about to take a break, and now, this is going to take forever! And you start to see all these other little halflings and things start to scramble out and start to secure the load up. And he's like, I'm sorry, friends, you're going to have to come back another time, and we can pick up this conversation. Or better yet, come see me in the burrows. We always like a nice visitor. But unfortunately, with the 10 or lower, you kind of had eliminated the time to get a clue here as he's fumbling and bumbling trying to clean up the mess now.
Was there anything else to use, like athletics instead of sleight of hand?
And that's just on this one, yeah.
Alright.
It's okay. I think you guys are on a good track to figure out what you need, and so there's not a whole lot of room for failure, but that's just one of the chances there, I suppose. But yeah, win some, lose some. It's okay.
At least I didn't get whipped this time.
You almost like the bundle snapped and this cord comes whipping right towards you, like stops right in front of your face. Everything flashes before your eyes, but you don't get whipped. Yeah, whew. Okay. Misplaced my pen. Okay. So let's continue. As you guys have all spread out, this kind of hubbub all around you, and you guys are just mixing right into it for sure. Maybe you kind of catch sight of one another on occasion, curious what the rest are up to, and yet you're all busy in this ant pile of workers, if you will. And with that in mind, I'm gonna let's go with Pocket. You kind of start to get a sense here that an obvious source of information would indeed lie with the workers here. They're here all the time. And like ants, they seem to be busy all over. You kind of wonder where to get your edge in, perhaps, until you see one elf man stride forward with a stiff cap and a pouch full of tools and scrolls, looking to be of some import.
Hello, sir, and I bow, not knowing how to conduct myself around a real pirate. I'm so sorry. I'm new here, and I'm supposed to be the mage and the powder monkey for a ship called the Fairy Starlet. I'm quite lost, and I wanted to know if maybe you could point me in the direction of where I should be. I don't know how merciful the captain of the ship is. So it would really be amazing if you could help me out.
He kind of pulls out some scrolls and starts the Fairy Starlet. Well, I am indeed a marine surveyor. I do inspect the ships here and the cargo for damage and quality. I actually just finished up an appointment. I was about to go for a drink. I'm not sure if I recognize you. I wouldn't mind discussing.
I'm very new. Very, very new. I just got here. I realized that I'm wearing a tricorn, and that's really not of my station. So I'm just trying to pick up a lot of things. I'm trying to start at the ground level on the ship. So, I mean, the Captain Kinred has been gracious enough to allow me on his crew, and I've almost flubbed it on my first day. So if you could somehow help me make a greater impression for my first day, I would be endlessly grateful.
Okay. He seems. I wouldn't mind speaking more with you, but I really would get in trouble if it was someone outside the business. And if you'll just make a quick deception check to kind of convince him, secure his confidence.
Deception.
Nice.
Not the one.
And, the DC for the sleight of hand earlier was only 14, so I don't feel like that one was too high. But I was like looking at this one, going, man, maybe this one is a little high. It was DC 16, but you nailed it. So I'm kind of thinking about that. Maybe I need to lower some of the DCs here, but I guess I'm just used to level 10s burning me. But let me make it.
Yeah.
DC too high? Question mark. All right. And yeah, but awesome, great roll. As it didn't matter if it was too high or not either. As also, if you would have had proficiency with woodcarver's tools or like space or sea vehicles, you would have had advantage on that roll.
Yeah, just smith's tools and thieves' tools for some reason. But I don't use them that often.
But even still, you used your quick wit and charisma to convince him that you're in the know enough. You start to get a good rapport with him. And he says, I'm not sure I quite recognize, let me check again, the Fairy Starlet? Is that what you said?
Yes, Captain Kinred of the Fairy Starlet, if you happen to know of him. And just for you taking your time out of your day, and I slip him 2 gold. It's like this is a lot of this is probably 2/3 of my wages at this moment. I'm really trying to start from the ground up, but I'm just so grateful to you helping me out here.
It's okay. It's been a long day, and I've actually got some work to do in the eve as well, which actually makes me realize. I'm not sure about the ship. I don't think I got the name of the ship coming in tonight, but I did get in contact with one captain. I believe his name was Kindred. Does seem a bit similar to what did you say, Mr. Red?
Yeah, Kindred. I may have written it down wrong. I was in a rush, flummoxed. I was really excited to get the job. So.
Yes. Well, I hope that's of any help. I do have an appointment to meet. I don't know if you'd call the late shift true nighttime, really, with the way that the bells mark our days and nights here. And yes, I'm supposed to meet with this Captain Kindred of this evening, actually.
Whereabouts? Maybe I can, after your meeting, I can ask for an audience with him to beg for his forgiveness. Or her, their forgiveness.
We conduct all our business here at the docks. As I said,
Okay.
I'll be scrutinizing his ship's hull for damage. I believe is what I have written down for this appointment.
Okay, and what about time would that be? Maybe I can scrounge up some more gold or something to as an offering.
Strangely enough, I only ever get appointments with this ship in what we would call the late shift. Not sure it'd be true nighttime, but keep an ear out for the bells. Yeah, if it starts to make sense here after a while. He kind of like looks up, and as you can see, you really are just on this like hunk of rock floating through space. So time is kind of just marked by bells and such. It's like, hey, it's nighttime if you want it to be.
Okay. Thank you so much. And do you have any advice for someone starting their ventures as an adventurer pirate?
Well, I do see some tools there. Dedicate yourself to your craft. Be the best that you can be. Perhaps you could be a marine surveyor like me even one day. We do get all sorts of metal cargo and shipments of weapons and tools and such. You might make a great marine surveyor yourself one day. Kind of puffs his chest up like he's like the most important dude ever.
Wonderful. And sir, what was your name? I'm so sorry to have not asked.
Oh, Toralion.
Terralion, yes.
Yeah.
May our name be written in stories among the greatest of marine workers.
I thought it already was, but I was gonna head off to the Lion. If you find yourself over there, I'll buy you a drink.
That would be wonderful. I will probably be quite thirsty after a long evening of groveling.
He kind of like adjusts his like the equivalent of a hard hat. It's like a very stiff cap. Kind of gives you a curious look, and he's like, and just starts to walk off, shuffling his tools and his scrolls and things. And last,
Okay, do I see anybody? Anybody of the party?
We'll get you. You guys could all kind of group up at the end. We do have one more.
Good.
Yep. Let's get one more clue. As you guys have done pretty swimmingly, and we're gonna end it off with Lostland, which I know someone had said something about performing earlier. I was like, oops, but I didn't recognize you as the bard there earlier. But you actually, Lostland, you're kind of stepping back, just trying to. You might even see some of your friends passing hither and thither, kind of waiting to find out how you're going to get in the mix of this, until you start to hear like a jingling of jewelry and a little like hurrah and an ooh and an ah, kind of just can't help but draw your attention over to what appears to be a street performer, kind of entertaining the new arrivals here. Her gaudy appearance and theatrics draw you nearer. And if you make a nature check just upon approach. So through the thick makeup she wears, it's kind of hard to identify like any race, but clearly woman in gender, and she's doing some juggling and things like that. Are you a wild spacer background by chance, Lachlan?
City Watch.
Okay, I didn't think so, but if you were, you would have had advantage, I guess. But yep, but she's there. She's kind of just doing a little dance here and there, throwing up some rings and catching them, doing some acrobatics and sorts of things like that.
Entertaining.
She like gives you a sly wink and like starts to juggle.
Nice. She seemed to have any insignias of note, anything like that? Street urchin?
No, I mean just very like painted up, gaudy appearance, very theatric garb that she's wearing. Doesn't seem to be any affiliation with much of anything.
Okay. Well, now she's got a hat out on the ground for any type of donations. I'll drop a gold piece in it and watch her for a little bit, and then can just continue on.
So as you drop a coin in, she kind of smiles, and she gestures for you to join her. Um,
Oh, I'm not much of a juggler.
don't want to just randomly follow a strange inhibition, perhaps?
Well, yeah, I guess I could give it a try, but it's really my thing. But
You do get the sense that somebody that would frequent the docks as often as a performer here too would probably see a few things or know a few things. Might be worth chatting up.
he does have the Watcher's Eye from his background, so I guess he could try to inquire a bit on she may have seen lately.
So you put a coin in. She kind of smiles at you and like gestures towards you in a strange way. You kind of hold up your arms, like shrugging, like like it's not not really your thing. And she kind of comes and grabs your hand and pulls you forward into like her little circle there, and begins to start to juggle and tosses one towards you, trying to draw you into it a little bit. And as it happens, some crowd starts to gather slightly. They're starting to cheer you on a little bit, like, yeah, go on, do it. And if you would just give it a quick try, it would be an acrobatics check.
Like I mentioned.
Oh man. Go.
Hey, I know you're trying to throw me a bone, but this dog isn't hungry.
Oh, you do have inspiration.
All right, I'll go ahead and try to use it.
Okay. All right, take another inspiration afterwards, just for playing along. You almost fumble the first, like you're not ready. She like throws you the first ball and just one, even it kind of like hits your hand and almost falls, and you like grab it with just like a flick of your wrist as she tosses you two more, and you're almost like astounding yourself, like your mouth starts to open like an uncharacteristic, like a boyish smile, even perhaps, as you're starting to like really juggle, and the crowd kind of gathers and starts to cheer you on. A few start tossing coins into the basket and things. And, after a minute or so, you kind of would stop and pass her back her balls. She says, it's always a crowd pleaser to draw in the one who really doesn't look like they'll be able to do it. And you played the part so well. You succeeded. I think I got a whole day's worth of pay there. And just that one performance. Wow, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Lawson. Kind of new to the area, just kind of checking things out with some of my friends.
Well, welcome to the Rock. I thought I almost had you there, but you really caught on quick.
Hey, you kind of made me feel a little bit foolish at first, but I guess it's a way to make new friends, I guess.
No, I'd never mean to embarrass you. It's just for the entertaining the crowds. You did swimmingly. Of course, if there's anything I could help you with, I suppose I might be willing.
Oh, just kind of, curious about comings and goings of the Rock here. Have you got any information you could be willing to share, or maybe some advice?
Oh, well, I suppose one thing I've learned is, they say that they take all kinds here at the Rock, and it's true. But at times, slipping between the cracks can be useful as well. I haven't been here too long myself, and it's been okay.
Okay.
But you never know. The ones you think you have to fear the most might end up being the ones that gain the most trust. I suppose if that would be my advice to share.
It's like a riddle.
Well, don't think too hard on it now. Anything more specific you'd want to ask her about, perhaps?
Also, can't really think of anything specific to talk about. If information's not being shared openly, he'll just kind of scan about and try to make a conversation one way or another, leading to the docks. Ships comings and goings.
Okay. Guess we'd end it there then. There would be a little more there. You could, if you'd ask her, kind of about like the dude you're looking for, perhaps, or any of that stuff. You're looking for this guy that's supposed to be at the docks, or perhaps a ship or a captain of some of that nature.
I'll name drop to see if anything comes from it.
Okay. And oh yeah, she says I don't really keep track of the captains or the ships that come in and out of here. Really just the people that come by are the ones I'm worried about. But you did mention one name there. I feel like I remember Jaeger. I actually just have recently came here from Far World. It's a satellite of the planet Garden. I did happen to run into that Jaeger fellow. He always seemed pretty friendly the few brief times we passed each other. But he did always find him... I always saw him in the company of a notorious band of pirates, led by Clive the Fearsome. I'd feel wrong if I didn't warn you of that, as they can be up to a lot of nefarious deeds.
Can you tell us, what can you tell me about Clyde? It's a new name for me.
That's surprising, as long as he's been around. It's like he's... must be a lich or something, if you ask me, she kind of says jokingly. But legend is he's been leading the pirate band deep in Garden for a few hundred years now. Kind of terrifying to think about.
It is a bit terrifying. Deep in Garden. It's like they're no good.
It's a strange system out there. Lots of moons and things. Far World's pretty much the only place you can really hang out and get a drink. Unless you want to go see those weird mages. But anywho, guess I'm gonna get back to it. And she kind of starts to, take the end of her break and get back out there to juggle and such.
Before you take off, by any chance do you know where someone could possibly find the deep garden in the area? Just to make sure they kind of stay away from that particular neighborhood or such, or dwelling.
Have you ever been there? Have you ever seen it?
I have not. I was assuming that the Deep in Garden was the name of the pirate gang, and that was a location here on the rock, not another location on a different world.
Oh no! It's thankfully it's in realm space, so it's not the furthest to get out there, and yet it's wow! It's quite a wonder to see. They call it Yggdrasil's child, a large tree, and yet I guess you just have to see it for yourself, really. The deep in the tangled roots, I hear many a pirate wander, but it is a pretty fantastical place to be. I'll probably return one day.
Definitely hope to check it out someday, and I'll try to stay clear of the Deep in Garden. I guess I need to try to see if I can't find Jaeger around.
All right, and then at that point, you guys can all kind of find each other where you started and share, what you've gathered.
Lawson will share whatever information he discovered, if any.
Yep, I believe Kranis shares the fact seen in 2 days. I think was what I got.
Pocket shares what she heard about the captain, Kindred, being at the docks later tonight, and also excitedly tells about meeting a surveyor and how she wants to be that when she grows up.
Tick will let everybody know if you ever have to join a pirate crew, join a halfling pirate crew. They don't whip you when you mess up.
I guess what did Bastadio learn that Jaeger was with a pirate crew coming from the garden?
Oh, Jaeger was here?
He tried to hijack a ship, landed here, and the spelljammer captain of that ship, the spelljammer from that ship, said that he heard the name Jaeger being cried out from the pirate ship that was attacking them from the garden. It's like Garden District. What is it? The Garden.
I'll have so just DM perspective. I'll have something to share with you in just a little bit about Garden. If you know any about the 2E Spelljammer lore, there's a book called Realm Space, and it goes into like all the different worlds and stuff of Realm Space, including like Toril and stuff. Anywho, Garden is one of those. I always thought it was pretty interesting. I did write up a nice little handout. I'll give you just in a minute. I know it might seem a little confusing at first of like what the heck's Garden, but it's actually pretty dang cool. This is D&D, so these planets are not even necessarily planets sometimes. It's pretty crazy. But anywho, I think you guys all do a pretty swimming job of, integrating yourselves into the docks there and getting a bit of information in one way or another. At this point, you pretty clear indication that, this kind of red vessel is going to be showing up in the nighttime. Perhaps the ship that Jaeger has been on,
Possible Dread Pirate Robert situation.
So you guys have a few hours till the night bells will ring. You can all kind of go, get a drink or do what you would at the Rock of Brawl. Of course, any like PHB purchases are always up for grabs during these times. So if you're like, oh hey, I could go buy me a quick, potion, or I want to go buy me, a spear or something, because whatever, you could definitely do that at this time. But of course, after a few hours, you'd hear those dinging of the bells indicating that it is quote-unquote nighttime. I guess we are kind of taking our time, so if everyone's cool, we'll just keep barreling through it, or does anyone want like a quick 3, 4, or 5 minute break? Let's take a 3-minute break, and I'm gonna refresh my coffee, and then we'll pick it up.
Sounds good.
Okay. Just all right. So 45 after Halcyon.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So, not to railroad too hard, I guess, but just for the sake of time, you guys have all dispersed out, had a quick break, got a drink, maybe went back and talked to Estrin a little, caught her up on the recent endeavors, as it were. But in the end, you kind of got to come back here to the Low City docks again. So you retrace your steps, quote-unquote nighttime, in search of Captain Red and his ship, or Captain Dread, should we say. But the cacophony of noises and sensations has dimmed in the wake of the day shift, and you see a ship. Didn't quite get its name earlier, but you do see it emblazoned on the side of this red galleon, the Very Scarlet. And it most certainly lives up to its name in the fullest. The wood has been painted a deep crimson, and even the sails are a blood red. You see various figures getting the ship docked and readying cargo for inspection. Captain Kin Dread himself is quite easy to locate, as he is striding up on the docks and will come to meet anyone that requests his presence. You guys are allowed on the mysterious ship and asked to wait until you see a large plasmoid roll out from the captain's quarters. You may approach him in any way you see fit there.
Okay, I'm back.
So you come onto my ship. Welcome to the Very Scarlet. I hope you yellow bellies have some good business for being aboard my galleon. And of course, this is all coming from a huge blood red amorphous blob with a little pirate hat on, a little cutlass at his side of sorts. Not much of a face, really, but of course a nice little orifice opens up and squeezes out these words that he says to you.
I whisper to the group, what were we supposed to ask him?
We're looking for Jaeger.
Okay, yeah. I'm extremely intimidated, so I will help anybody that has the balls to talk to this plasmoid.
Lawson will try to push forward a little bit, and he'll mention that we're here looking for Captain Jaeger. Have you seen him?
Captain, is that what he told you? Nay, he worked for me. I'm the captain of this vessel.
No disrespect. I'm sure you are the captain of this vessel. And I actually heard the title from a friend of a friend. I've never actually met him myself. That's why we're looking for him, and I have to ask you if you've seen him.
I've seen him many a time. We've been through some things together. Of course, as buccaneers, there's things would happen, but on my ship, we only resort to violence when necessary. And of course, you could give a good old-fashioned insight check. Lostland or anyone else?
Hopefully violence won't be necessary.
Looks like only Flowbot and Karanis, you are able to tell that the resorting to violence comment isn't necessarily the case, although you get a sense from the pirate crew around you, they don't really seem to be any more despicable than the next by any means.
It's just business.
Aye, just business, and if you ask me, I prefer the term privateer. We don't use the other P word aboard my ship.
So Fullbot will pop up and say, well, if we could be a little more specific, when is the last time you saw Jaeger, and where was it? We are very eager to talk to him.
You talk to Eager.
Well, that is a great question to ask. I haven't seen Jaeger since our last job. It was couple 10 days ago. I'll admit we try not to discriminate on employers, as long as the coin is good. But this last one, he's known to be a piece of work. The infamous Clive the Fearsome. He rules the area around Farworld with fierce and merciless tactics. But, coin does talk.
I give him 2 more gold. This is about 2/3 of what my wage is. If you could just give us any information that you have.
It would be beside me to turn down gold, but I like the cut of your jib. Keep your coins. Perhaps you could serve aboard me vessel in the future.
I would love that. Yes. At another time, then Pocket's just gonna move her way to the back of the group. Like she's too excited to be here.
I started to know Jaeger well. He was always a bit of a pain. He would always hold us up, trying to stuff as much junk and scrap onto the vessel that I'd allow. Tedious, I'd say, but I respected his desire to maintain a positive relationship with his brother. He always tried to keep his image clean and business thriving, and as another businessman myself, I do admire that. And Jaeger never really did show a true penchant for bloodlust or greed like some of the other scallywags I have to keep in line aboard here, the very Scarlet. I fear he may have left us to join up with Clive proper on Farworld. I reckon Jaeger must think he can lead him to a better place in life. He'll be missed aboard the Scarlet, but I'm sure he's doing fine.
From the back of the group, I yell, when was the last time you saw him?
As I said, it was between a 10-day and 2 ago. It was an easy mission, I'd say, perhaps too much. So now looking back, just a run-of-the-mill delivery of private cargo, as it were. No incidents were recorded, and the very Scarlet even had time to chase down a random ship on the return trip. Ha ha! We almost had that damselfly.
Do you know about when we would see Clyde next here?
I'm not sure many a soul have actually ever seen Clive, and lived to tell the tale, but he doesn't really frequent this area of realm space much. That's out in Garden. And if you're trying to stop out there, well, there's not really a whole lot of places to do so. In fact, I suppose I could tell you what I know about the place. We usually dock over in Farworld. It's a moon of Garden, often called the Child of Yggdrasil, Garden is, for it is a large tree just drifted through realm space, trailing along a complex network of roots and satellites in its wake. I do know a fair amount about the area, and let's see the best way I should do. Give me a quick sec, I'll copy and paste. Okay, that one. My fault. Realize I did not have this ready. Just 1 second. I just have to make a quick handout. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm sure once you got it built, you'll use it again.
Okay, just waiting for it to pull up, and so I'll just read a little bit of it as we're waiting. But of course, this is Garden, or Yggdrasil's child. It's a cluster of Earth bodies with 12 satellites in orbit. One day here is about 128 hours, while the length of a year is over 1,000 months. The sun is about 12 days travel away at max speed, and the neighboring worlds here are Glith, an Illithid world, and Hakatha, a Beholder world. So not the most peaceful part of realm space. Garden's just kind of wedged in here, the seventh planet from the sun, and is actually just a collection of objects ensnared by the roots of a great plant. Each of these kind of share a common atmospheric envelope. However, Garden's moons are well outside these spherical reaches and kind of have each of their own things going on. And so there's some key folks. It's not pulling up on my computer, but you do have Clive the Fearsome, of course. Pretty smart, strong dude, leading a bandit force of about 12 ships and 100 men strong, give or take, of course. Not known to be an attractive person, but his strength and great intelligence make him seemingly unstoppable. Looks like it was about 125 years ago or so that, so maybe I exaggerated that a bit earlier, but it was realized that a name that struck fear was a terrible thing to waste. So the current Clive is actually a different person. This is more just behind the scenes stuff for fun, rather than what your character would know necessarily, but this Clive is actually named Orion. He's the 11th to take on the Pirate Lord's mantle, and instead of trying to build a new name for people to recognize, why not build one singular name up to infamy that would defeat even the toughest of foes? Time itself. So that's kind of who Clive is. And again, this is some 2E lore that's paraphrased and embellished upon and things like that. And I should be able to get you that handout. I'm still in the Word document stage, and I don't know why it is being like painfully slow.
I love the 2E Spelljammer cover. It looks so corny.
I really love the old Spelljammer stuff. I was somewhat disappointed with the way they handled the newer rendition, but it's okay.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with the newer stuff. Like they don't have much lore in it at all. Like,
nope, it's all rules.
Mm-hmm. Like, why are Thrycreen here? Like,
and how come they don't like eating elves anymore?
I know. They were Dark Sun, they loved elves. I still like elves, just, even though it's looked down upon.
He's like, I mean, I've never ate an elf. Yeah, I've heard people say too about kind of how they just really went for broke on making the astral elves kind of the bad guys, and in that they kind of forewent like the Skrull, which were like the hyper intelligent orcs that were pretty fearsome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I appreciate the patience there on that. Should be about ready.
And they get the Yankee.
And so just peruse this at your own volition. And my apologies, it took a second there, but it's just something I kind of wrote up and should tell you all about the moons and stuff. And honestly, this is just like campaign fodder, There's not a lot of details on some of these, but that's kind of the point where you could do whatever you want with it. Like, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of life here in this area, but there's a few moons that have some things going on, like Templar or whatever, but Far World definitely does seem to be the most populated and such, so he'll kind of share this information with you guys more organically, of course, but just for the sake of mechanically, there's a nice handout for you there. And so, if you have any other questions for him, it seems like you've probably got enough information to know to pursue Jaeger to Far Worlds.
So I've got a question for you about Jaeger. What exactly is he? Is he human?
He be only a human. No offense to him. Weird looking beings, if you ask me, but yes, just a human.
And if he happened to, his influence was to be reduced by accident, would you be offended? If it came to that.
He's not on my payroll anymore. But I'd say I would consider him a friend of mine at least. He was always a good fella.
That in mind.
He and Rhaegar aren't twins, are they? They're just brothers.
From what I know, they're just brothers. They do look a little bit alike, I suppose, but then again, all the humans kind of do to me.
I shake my head like, yeah, right?
Again, I mean no offense, of course. We take on all kinds aboard the Very Scarlet, as long as you abide by me privateer code, if you will. And of course, if you dress in red, that pretty much nails it. As you can see, he is most definitely obsessed with the color red. The ship is red, everything's red, everything is red. And he even says,
red.
Tonight, we will paint Wild Space red here, if you find yourselves looking for a party as well.
So are they real privateers sanctioned by the local government, or are they just pretending they're privateers, just basically pirates?
Whoa, who brought this guy on board? Why are you asking these sorts of questions? Whoa, I thought we were friends, matey. These aren't the kinds of questions friends be asking if you ask me.
Well, I mean, because there's a difference between privateers and pirates.
It's just a whistle through an orifice for me. It both starts with a P. I think the privateer thing kinda raises less eyebrows, if you will. Eyebrows are overrated, if you ask me as well.
Also nodding. Yeah. And then I'll make my shield
when
of
was the last time
expression
you saw Jaeger?
look like a face with eyebrows.
He's like, I can do that too, somewhat. And it's like a fleshy, like, amorphous version he's trying. Ugh. Pains me to do so. But alright, if you guys have gotten everything from him, you could take this information to report to wherever you would seem the most fitting.
Well, yeah, we found out where Jaeger is, right?
Yes.
Once again, where was Jaeger?
He's joined the pirate crew of the Dread Pirate Roberts, or whatever the guy's name is.
Orion. Well, Clive?
Yeah, Clive, yeah.
Orion?
The new Clive.
Clive, but we don't know where the new Clive is.
They were
In the garden. Yeah, we were told to find out where he is, not to get him, right?
Sounds like a privateer thing to me.
So returning to Rhaegar is definitely an option there.
Well, mainly we just need to find his brother.
You could just go back and use the old good news, bad news. Good news, we know where your brother is. Bad news, he's with a Dread Pirate Clive.
Really, what kind of name is Clive to strike fear into people?
I mean, isn't that
Like
amazing though?
Steve.
Like, they must have done some crazy crap for the name Clive to strike fear in someone, you know?
Just think about how much more scary you would be with a name like Clive and a bad reputation. It's like, wow, this guy's named Clive and he's a badass. He must be a super badass.
Exactly. It's to overcome the stigma of Dread Pirate.
Yeah.
Bob.
Pirate
Yeah, so
Bobby.
do we go back to Rhaegar and tell him Jaeger's on Garden, and then is that our deal upkept? Is that our end of the deal?
I mean, did we say we were going to get him? We just said we were going to find out where he is, right?
Can I see the shop from here?
It's not terribly far here from the docks. Excuse the child.
Can I see Rhaegar through a window and message him?
You guys could come back to the shop and talk to him if that's with the way. I mean, at this point, knowing that if you're trying to find Jaeger, specifically where he's at or what's happened to him, probably the next location would be Far World. So it's really up to you if you want to take that information back to Rhaegar, or if you would want to just go to Estrin, who's originally been the one to call the deal. It's kind of up to y'all, but those would probably be the ones that make the most sense, I guess.
Yeah, Esther would probably, because yeah,
Astrid did pay us, so I guess we should go back to them. I don't know. Are we trying to retrieve Jaeger?
well, if we are, we have to leave here, so we'll have to get a ship and all that stuff. So, let's go tell our benefactor first before we do any of that.
Yeah, maybe we happen to have to go there too. So that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that probably is like the closest place, yeah, at least too. You could see the at least over the tops of the other ships and things, the light drifting of the tentacles of an enemy waiting over there. So you guys could trot over there and hop back up in, open up the hatch and kind of climb down the ladder back into the enemy where you first started, really. Estrin is there and seems to be, I guess, pleased to see you and eager to hear your progress thus far.
We got the part.
Did we get the part? I don't think.
Right?
We're getting the part.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting the part. Oh, they didn't give us the part already?
Yeah, they didn't give it to us up front, no.
Dad,
You have the part in theory, just not in practice.
And yeah. But I got a bobblehead, so.
Ooh, that looks cool. Some mending would probably set that right as well. And I would like to commend you. Sounds like quite a series of challenges you're navigating. I'm pleased with what you've done so far, and so you've almost got the part. What more do we need to do?
I think we got them down to your original price, right?
If they accept that we know where the brother is, but we don't have the brother. Because what was our initial deal? Because I remember hearing, find out where my brother is, not go get my brother. So I think we did that part. We found out where his brother is.
Can we do like a check to see if we remember what the deal, what the terms of the deal were?
So I'll make a note to make that more clear, because the way that it's worded is if he is located, which I don't know. I mean, I think if you would have went back to Rhaegar, he would have been like, oh, you think he's there? Could you go see, like, and make sure or whatever? So I don't know, like, you haven't specifically located him necessarily. You just have the hunch, like, oh, from everything we gathered, we think he's here. So just how confident on that information would you truly be when everything at this point has just been word of mouth? So it's, I guess, however you want to read that, but DM perspective would be like, yeah, you should go find him.
Yes.
I'll make that more clear going forward.
We could also strong arm him again by telling him we'll go to the authorities because he's been working with pirates this whole time.
That also is something you could try to do.
Yes, but do we really want to ruin the relationship between two brothers when one is bad and the other one is just trying to get right?
Well, changing the price after you've already made a deal is pretty shady. So,
but why did he do it? I guess we never found out if that was his choice. Well, we did find out if that was his choice, right?
Yeah, and it seemed like that was more based off of like lack of experience.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lack of wisdom versus he seemed like a very smart dude, but obviously he was not making the right choices at floundering.
Can we ask the Illithid captain, would you want to go to Garden? That would help us in procuring the means to get the part that you need.
Well, I'm up for anything, and I think we can always test out more of the capabilities of the enemy with a trip like that. We've actually just only taken it off Toril to come here to the Rock, so it's seems like everything's going well, but of course I would welcome the challenge to test the ship further in any way. But I have heard that Farworld is rumored to be a lot like the Rock of Brawl, but a little more lawless, if you could even say that. So I'm sure if anyone's getting a bit restless, your time will come soon for more action. Always keep an eye out for danger as we travel, and I'll get the anemone ready to go whenever you want.
What do you think, team?
I think we better head out the garden and lock down this information.
Yep,
do
key
it.
the Indiana Jones music as we travel.
Sorry.
All right, and I know lots of
Pocket is so excited.
lots of sleuthing, lots of conversations to have, and getting closer to the end here as you hop in the anemone and you take a pretty uneventful trip to Farworld. The distance here in realm space is can be a lot, and even with it kind of varies, of course, as everything's orbiting around the sun. So at one time, a planet could be only a few days travel away, where at a different time of year, it could be much more than that. But this trip only takes about a 10-day or so to get from to Farworld. And you guys have a bit of a chance to mingle, kind of, as you've pretty much already been doing and such, before the gnarled roots of garden come into view. The small marble begins to grow in size until Farworld itself spins before you, and from above, the trading post seems to be quite lively. Off in the distance, you can barely make out what almost does appear to be like a living plant, and with a massive tangle of roots and stuff. And there's some moons and things in between you and this as well, so it's all pretty well spaced out. But here you are. And as you come down into this trading post, you see it to be quite lively. The nature here isn't too abundant, but instead many streets crisscross over the surface of this moon, gray lines becoming clearer, turning into cobblestone roads and buildings of various architecture and quality. You descend and begin to dock as usual, garden kind of looming there in the distance. The tree radiates life as the large leaves sway softly at the edge of your vision. You can see the other satellites in between you and the great celestial body, some fiery, while others are shaped in odd ways. Thoughts of what may lie closer within the tangled roots of Yggdrasil's child are interrupted as you complete the landing process. Estrin stays back with the anemone for docking formalities and ushers you to go on forward. And much like the sleuthing upon the docks of Rock of Brawl, it takes questioning of a few individuals to find that Jaeger now resides at an inn and tavern called Farbound and Down. This has gotten to be common knowledge in the area, as it seems the long-lost brother has been asking around for competent help with an upcoming job that could be very dangerous. And so, not much else to do really here, except for railroad you right towards Farbound and Down, which is a quaint bar and inn that lies between two busy market streets. And you guys can enter, and you see the proprietor there, an astral elf female, greets you warmly and will take any orders you may have. You do see a pale-skinned individual covered in black leather, kind of sitting in a dark corner. He's got sharp eyes framed by a stylish haircut with shaved sides. As you guys make your way in, can kind of identify from what you've gathered around your small time here in Farworld and such that this is probably going to be Jaeger sitting over there. And as you kind of start to order some drinks and things like that and side-eye him, everybody can make a nature or history check.
Oof. Oh. -1.
Very good. And so as you give him a quick side-eye, it looks like everybody rolled astoundingly well. Tick, you're the only one who... You're busy ordering your drink. You're not even paying too much attention to that.
Wondering how the elf tastes,
You're like, is that on the menu? You're you're looking at a menu. You're like, where's Astral Elf on the menu?
Yeah, no.
The bartender looks nervous as everybody else immediately realizes that this man sitting over there, who you're thinking is probably the long-lost guy you've been searching for, all this sleuthing and conversing and digging on the Rock of Brawl has led you to this moment, perhaps. And this dude especially that pale skin. This is a vampire, for sure. But he kind of sits there with the crimson-filled glass, just, pretty casual.
Pocket really wants to go over there, but she's gonna turn to the group and make sure that that's okay.
Fullbot says, "I'll go with you."
Sure. Lawson will follow Flowbot and Pocket.
Yes. I think I have just the thing that he might enjoy, too.
So you guys walk up to this vampire sitting there, and as I had said, as you guys had questioned a few people around the area, it is kind of common knowledge that he's been asking around himself for competent help with an upcoming job that could be very dangerous. And so as you approach this motley assembled crew, I wouldn't say standing out too much from the locals here, but the hardened look in your faces and the weapons and gear that you carry definitely identify you as a little more so than the rest. And so he kind of stands up quickly. He says, you must be the ones I've been searching for. You're going to be the ones who will help me, not like all these cowards.
Perhaps.
What with?
Well, I can't say I have a lot to pay you with. My last coin has went for a place to stay. It'll be dangerous, I tell you. That doesn't scare you off?
You told us what we'd be doing yet?
Haha, okay. Well, there's a fearsome creature. And I believe it's the one that has even done me a personal wrong. And I will have my revenge. And you can definitely see a sense of desperation in his face as he calls this out.
And what might this creature be?
The last thing I saw was the snapping of jaws. Should have just been a routine mission.
How big was this thing?
Well, it fit in the cargo hold, so it was the only thing there, though, so it was quite sizable. The last thing I saw was the chain snap on this cargo. We were there for legitimate means, of course. Just a routine checkup, and the unexpected happened. The chain snapped. He's not really hiding the fact that he's a vampire, but of course, there'd be certain signs to recognize off the bat. But so some of the things he says like that will make sense, of course. But he's like, we were no match for the monster, whatever it was. We died that day. And yet, I've got someone out there who cares about me, and I've been looking out for him for a long time, and I don't plan on stopping now. I got caught up in this web, and I got to find my way out. I can't do it by myself, but we must kill this beast, the Clive's dog, so I'll no longer be guarded. I'll be free.
A dog?
Aye, his guard dog, if you will. The snapping jaws is all I remember. Foul beast, whatever it be.
Oh dear, so if we take care of this problem, we might run into Clive then as well, is what you're saying.
Yeah. You think Clive would ever leave his fortress there deep in the roots? Nah. Not the type to be doing the field work.
Perhaps you lead us to this ship, and we'll let your brother know you're safe.
No, I don't believe there's anything left of the ship. We were just having a routine check on, but I do know the area.
Lead the way.
No other no questions or anything for him?
How did you get away?
Did it?
Short time after, I just became alive again. And he kind of holds his hands up. You see he's like very pale, thin. He's got fangs coming out. My brother, I could never let him see me like this. I've been ashamed.
I don't think he'd care. I think he would just want to see you.
I mean, with this price gouging, you're both kind of bloodsuckers.
That's funny.
I like the joke Granish made.
He raised the prices. Oh, goodness. I always told him that was a terrible idea. It's true. I always was procuring the scrap there for a reliable scrap. But perhaps it wasn't always through the most reliable of means, but I got it done, and I hardly ever hurt a fly. I always meant well. I'll admit, the adventurous life of a buccaneer always seemed more thrilling than that of a scrounger or a scavenger. And, seems to be telling the truth.
Except for all these buccaneers, pirateers. You're pirates! Own it!
Well, if depending on what banner you fly, Prince Andrew, he might give you a little less favorable eye upon the Rock of Brawl. And, you don't want to end up in the penal colony just farming your days away. So some things you got to do with a bit of discretion. Like flying under the banner of Kin Dread, it was quite fulfilling. But Clive, he offered me a deal like I couldn't resist. He even called me to one of his safe houses deep within the tangled roots of Garden. It's a maze in there. I'm not sure quite how to navigate it fully myself, but whenever he took me there, he began to blackmail me into joining his crew, saying my shop, even my brother, would be targeted endlessly by thieves and worse. I'd never put him in danger, of course. I agreed. A few raids we did, but a few things became clear as well. I can man a ballista like any other, and he really pushed me on that one. But I never gave up on my brother, and perhaps I did speak of him a bit too often. Clive, he said he had great plans for me. He told me he had a new destiny planned for me, perhaps even to take on the great mantle of Clive one day. I don't want any of this, of course. I tried to get away to my brother, but that's when he sent me on this mission.
How do you think you're making your brother feel when you want to follow a life of adventure? Have you ever talked with him about it?
He's a softer soul. Ever since we were children there on the rock, he's had no idea the pains I've suffered to keep him working for those fancy folks up in the upper end. Nay, I didn't have that blessing myself. I scrounged, I survived, I stole. I've done terrible things to make sure we weren't just orphans on the street, as we started to be.
What?
Billy cares a lot about you.
Oh.
Sent us here to find you. Misses you.
He's the only one I think about, I'll be honest. He's the one that brought me back to life, and I too would love to see him again. And yet, I've got to put this to bed. And I fear that this fearsome creature will trail me. It has a scent for my blood. I think we should hit it head on, take it out once and for all, and only then will I truly be free. I don't think I could be a scrounger as before. I don't think I want to be a pirate anymore either, but who knows what my destiny holds. But first we must destroy this beast. Are you with me, men? And bot. And woman.
And insect.
And bug.
It's really hard to be inclusive nowadays. I understand that. It's like a laser field of, inclusivity.
No, or
I mean,
So
we can go if
we'll get that part for free, right?
I think we could all set it right, and hopefully everyone will be satisfied in the end. I'll speak with me brother, and well, if you're willing to come with me, I think we'll need this. And he holds up a musket and a pack of smoke powder. Who would want to take this musket? At the end, if the smoke powder isn't used, you guys will get it however many shots are left or whatever. But only one of you can get the musket. So we are kind of pushing time. As long as no one's like, rush, and I'm okay. We're we started early enough in the day for me that we're rocking it. If anybody needs us to push a little faster, let me know. That's fine. We can kind of hurry it up. But that being said, if anybody wants the gun, go ahead and roll a d20, and whoever rolls highest gets it, and we'll just do it like that.
I am not proficient in firearms, so no.
I don't have. Nah, I'll pass.
Okay. Does anybody else want it other than Flowbot then? So I think that's it.
sounds like Flowbot gets the gun.
Okay, so he passes over the musket and the packet of smoke powder to Flowbot, and he says, you look like you know what to do with this.
Flowbot takes the musket and twirls it in his hand and does the one-hand rifleman cock with it and says, I think I can make this work. Of course, it's a musket, so you can't really cock it, but you get what I'm saying.
You can make some noise in your mouth.
The party immediately takes the musket away and says, maybe you don't need this.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, if I had that rune, the Ild rune or whatever it's called, I would have taken it, but I don't have it on this character.
Okay, and so that's been decided. Seems like you guys set this right, and this chain of events that you've just been thrown into, one thing to another, all leading back to originally trying to acquire this part, which you guys seem to have that in mind. And so you return to Estrin with this vampire in tow. Estrin gives you a warm greeting back aboard the anemone. Does not protest Jaeger entering the vessel, and appears to accept the newest challenge for the space anemone ship with gusto. Always down for a good battle, but she does stress that as a pacifist, she will not be participating, but is willing to appoint someone else as captain for the duration of any conflict if needed. Jaeger will join in the upcoming battle. He will follow orders, operate the ballista, or attack and assist in any way the group wants. He uses the vampire stat block, and so you guys can kind of order him about in however you want. The stat block's really not too complicated. I'm pretty sure you just got like a ranged attack, perhaps a melee attack, and then really if you want to help him he's like a ballistaman, really is be an idea, but he, like I said, he's willing to follow orders, operate the ballista, attack and assist in any way you guys want. If I need to, I could probably share the vampire stat block, but we'll kind of roll with it as we go. And just for to it doesn't have to be like a huge thing over it. We can kind of decide as we're going to, but there are the officer roles and actions, including the Spelljammer. So whoever wants to take that on.
I have no spell cast.
Pocket would like to be first bosun, actually, or first mate. Maybe first mate. She has better charisma.
And then just right quick, so this is in the kind of the journal part of Roll20 there, and so you can check back on that officer roles and actions as you see fit. And then also we have the ship combat thing right here. Due to some feedback I've gotten in the past, we'll do side initiative, but I'll still have you guys roll initiative as well. That way it's just kind of a more defined turn order on your side of things at least, and then we'll just kind of roll with it like that. So, yep, there's some ship combat reminders. Just again, you got your officer roles and actions if you want to peek over that. If anybody wants to pick an officer role or anything, you can just type it out, or you guys can have a quick discussion on who does what. I think we had a call for a bosun.
Oh no, Pocket, I think, wants to be first mate.
Stadio, are you doing the Spelljammer? I think you're the only. I think you're our only primary caster.
Yes, I can. If no one else wants to, I will.
And so, as the Spelljammer, you can do certain things. The Spelljamming helm on this ship is kind of out of sight, but you could still you operate the ship, and then you could still do things on your turn in a sense. But you are kind of limited by sight and certain stuff like that. We'll just kind of approach it as we go. But we've essentially made it to the boss fight. We'll rock through it. I think it's you guys are at very hard, but only by a little bit. But even still, it's kind of a solo boss in that sense. And I have contemplated should I add a couple more creatures? But all in all, it's not really the focus of the mod, so it's okay. I think at this point, it's just let's have some fun, get some ship practicing, kill this big bad, and call it a day. As the mercantile asteroid of Farworld slips back into the fold of the cosmos as an enemy speeds towards the wild tangle of branches and roots that make up Garden. Jaeger stands near the helm and directs the vessel towards the place where he drew his last breath. The tension mounts in the small ship until the coils of the Yggdrasil's child begin to surround the crew. I will need everyone to make me a group perception check.
Yikes.
Are you doing average or individuals?
Individuals. So
if the 12 fails, I'll add on a D8. Just let me know.
looks like it is going to be DC 16 on this one. So as of right now, only 2 success, 3 success.
I got an inspiration if someone wants to take it for a reroll, if that's allowed.
Oh, for sure.
I would like to reroll by 1.
Then
Okay, nice. So y'all turned an almost fail into a success. It looks like a pure success, which I know would be hard to do, but just the way I wrote this out, I thought it'd be fun. Like if everybody would have succeeded DC 16, you would have located a nest and surprised the creature. But just with an incomplete success, you see this large, kind of silvery white dragon burst forth from the tangle of vines and roots of Garden, just in time to prepare yourselves, as we'll roll for a straight initiative. And clearly, if you guys would have failed, you would have been surprised. But no surprise, as you see an adult lunar dragon who seems to be a girthy boy and ready for a fight. Come jumping out.
Jeez.
And of course, your vampire friend there, which I really need to get him a token, actually. But we'll see what he does.
Hopefully I don't lose my other leg to this one. That's how I lost my last leg, was to a lunar dragon.
Well, no, my solar dragon lose the other leg.
Yes, it might have been a solar. No, I think it was a lunar.
Okay, so let me see. We gotta just roll. You know what? I guess it does make more sense, but I guess since there's only one foe and not like an army of foes on a ship, I guess we'll just do initiative as normal. We don't have to do side initiative. I'll keep that in mind. As looks like Flowbot, you're going to be the one to start, but just keep in mind that everyone's got different kind of like your ship. Your Spelljammer will be the one to move the ship, and if you look at the diagram of the ship, you could see where 3 or 4 of you could easily fit. This is a pretty small ship in like spell jamming standards. So the size that it is on the map actually is the actual size of the ship. It's a 30 by 30, so that is what it is. But as you can see, the top of the deck is kind of even more squished down with the ballista there, and you can kind of shoot between the tentacles easily enough. So you guys can kind of decide like where you're going to be and what you're going to do as we go, but try to work as a team and stuff. And open communication is totally fine in between turns and stuff. Let's just try not to go too long, as we are already kind of hitting our last little bit of time scheduled for the day. That being said, Flowbot, take it away.
Okay, so you said the distances are accurate. So he's about 100 feet away. Does anybody mind if I shoot the ballista at him?
So the ballista does take some actions, and if you want, you do have Jaeger there, who will most certainly use one of his actions to help, and you can just consider that automatic.
So is the ballista loaded, or do we need to take actions to load it?
It'll take the full actions to use it.
All right, I'll use my action to shoot him with the ballista. I've got pretty decent dex, so I think I can help with that.
So the ballista uses its own stat. It's like a plus. It gives you a plus to roll.
Okay, so my ranged weapon feat wouldn't, or not feat, but wouldn't help with it.
Like
fighting style.
Maybe that would, yeah, fighting style or something like that might, yeah. So you want to hold an action to fire the ballista?
Yeah, because if I can use my feat, that'll give us a +2. Plus, I can add. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my action to fire it once it's aimed and loaded.
Okay, so you kind of motion. Jaeger does his thing, and he loads the ballista, no problem. You get ready to fire it, hoping someone will aim it for you. And I guess we'll go to Pocket.
I was gonna try to give the take aim action, but I guess it would be easier to just aim it.
You have other teammates too as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll do take aim just so you have advantage, and then you guys can fire it on the next turn.
But yeah, I think as soon as you aim it, I'll fire it because I've got an action held.
Take aim gives you advantage.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Okay, so you guys are knowing, you got to close some distance and such before some of y'all can do things, and you're kind of putting a plan together. You kind of climb up the ladder swiftly, poke your head out, or climb up there either way, and shout out to him. Look, aim right there! It's coming right for us, right in between the roots. That'll definitely help you out. And then we'll go to. So let's see. Would you stop up on top of the deck, or would you go back below?
I'll stay up top. Why not?
Alrighty, and then we have our
a naive privateer.
I mean, if it probably would make the most sense for the action that you used, but you could probably run up there and do it and run back down. But in any case, this lunar dragon starts to fly towards y'all. So fly about there. Wait. He flies about 40 feet towards you, and just does what dragons do. We are at very hard, even though y'all are APL 7, just for APL 6, it still comes in as very hard. So this adult lunar dragon flies towards you, opens up its maw, and exhales a blast of frost towards the ship. The ship is an object, so it'll automatically fail. I consider those creatures in the sense of this because they have HP and everything. It's a combatant in the fight, So, but as an object, still, it will fail the saving throw, and it will take the damage. And then those on deck need to make the save as well, and it will be for 40. And so,
Well, my mount dies because he's got 20 hit points.
if you wanted to be below deck, that would be okay.
I wouldn't have been below deck though.
Okay. Appreciate the honesty there.
I'm gonna
Flow bottle uses
inspiration
absorb
that.
elements.
Oh, damn.
So I don't know if folks would be within my aura, but it's a +4.
Oh wait, oh I have an aura too. Oh crap. Yeah, I also have a +2 aura. Forgot about that. Good call, dude.
Okay, so as y'all figure that out, record your HP, either the 40 or the 20, or if you did the absorb, that might take it down further, of course. And then to finish my turn, he just flies up and blasts. And let me check real quick, just for fun. Oh shoot, I just closed it out. Dang it. I think it'd probably just be in Draconic, but I'm gonna double check. But he'll call out, Jaeger, you've came back. We will end this. I should have just ate you.
It's a +3.
So, DM, I got a question. So, Lawson was going to do the officer role of the boatswain, so I imagine he might be below deck somewhere. Not too sure.
Yeah, that's
Your
fine.
call.
No, it's kind of up to y'all at the start here, because I would only go in turn order, so I was really just targeting who I knew was on top. But if you, like those who said they would be on top, I appreciate the honesty. But if you feel like you would have been below, that's fine too as well. So it's more the
That's why I'm asking. I don't know where you would want
it's kind of
somebody in that
limited.
position.
The space up there is kind of limited as well. So if you take a look at the diagram of the space anemone handout, you can see that it's really not a whole lot of space up there anyway. It's probably only like 3 or 4 people could fit up there comfortably. So it's fine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we have the pirate. Who was aiming it? And who was going to fire it?
Flowbot has an action held to fire it, so it just needs someone to aim it.
Flowbot, vampire. Yeah. So yeah, we only needed 4 saves. Kratos is fine with being up there. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Okay, my bad. I was pulling my Jaeger stat block up. It looks like he is going to fail. Unless... Oh, yeah, he fails. He is pretty dang hurt after that. Oh, wait, no, my bad. He seems unfazed by that completely. And he laughs, and he's like, "You've taken so much from me, and yet now I am impervious to your best weapon," as he seems completely unfazed by the cold damage. The dragon flies back to its returning position about 100 feet away, and it'll be Karanis' turn.
We've got someone else on the Spelljammer helm, but we need to load the thing, so he'll take whatever actions needed to prep the ballista, and then he will check down below afterwards.
Okay, it looks like that is going to be enough to pop that thing off, so we could go back to the original person, which was, if I'm correct, or was it Flowbot?
Yeah, Flowbot.
So
Yeah,
Flowbot,
is
you
there
can... Go ahead.
Just want me to roll d20? I'm not seeing the list, the stats anywhere.
It should be a d20 plus 5.
+6.
All right.
6. Yeah, okay, plus 6.
And then I get another +2, and I get it at advantage, right?
Yes.
Sounds good. Got this one lined up.
All right, so there's 2 20s, so that would be a 20 to hit.
Alrighty, so with a bunch of teamwork, a shuffling on board, everyone kind of pitching in as a true crew does. You fire this shot off perfectly. It sails across this insanely large gap to strike this dragon true as it's kind of retreating back to its little fold there. If you'll roll, was it 3d10?
D10. And question, I'm a battle master fighter, so can I add a can I add a Battlemaster attack to this? A maneuver?
What does it kind of specify for you to activate that?
Just when I take an attack.
If that's the only kind of stipulation, then I wouldn't see why not.
All right, then I am going to make a trip attack on him, and he's going to have to make a DC 15 Strength saving throw, or be prone. I don't know what that means, but it also means that he's going to take an additional 4 damage to that, so 22 damage to him.
Nice.
And I don't know if going prone does anything in wild space, but
Does it
know
come with a
that-
save, or it's just automatic for using that?
I mean,
Does it get a save, or
yeah, DC 15 Strength save.
okay? So, get the HP. Is roll 20 is like acting a little funny. It said strength save or dex save?
Strength.
Ooh. Okay, so he'll go prone.
All right.
Nice.
I don't know if that includes any falling since he's flying or not, but
Keep that in mind.
I'm quite sure how it all works.
Okay, anything else? Good shot.
That's
And was there anything else from Karanis?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go to Tick.
Was who just shot that?
Flowbot.
All right, I'll go and reload Flowbot's ballista with the take aim action.
Okay, so you're gonna put another action towards the ballista.
Yes.
So
I'll
yeah,
reload
like
Flowbot's.
how Karanis is saying there's another action for whoever's the captain or whatever. You could do full speed ahead, and that would give Bastadio an option to move more distance per se. But
Tick was a bosun.
okay, so you're gonna load up the ballista, and that's it, and then we'll go to next.
Well, the take aim action.
Okay,
That's
so you're gonna
possible.
supply that for the next round. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
And then pocket.
Did I technically go already? Because I did the take him on the first shot.
Oh, I think somehow you're in initiative twice. I guess you've already went. Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. How that happened.
Can I bonus action hex the dragon?
I guess your turn has already hit past, so we'll say an initiative
Okay.
for right now. But Bastadio.
And it's 100 feet away. I'm not sure how far Hex is.
Bastadio drives spaceships about as well as my grandfather drove his Cadillac. I will. I would imagine that some of our weapons might be out of range, so full speed ahead towards the dragon.
Okay, so let me check that. I guess you could be the captain, and oh wait, no, because you're the spelljammer. That is your role, so you can full speed ahead yourself. But
The speed?
I think it's 30 feet. Let me double check the handout there.
The other thing is, I don't think we should be out of range for our distance weapons, and I don't think we're going to be able to outrun it. And now, would I be only moving the vessel, and everybody else moves their tokens, or can you grab all of them and move them?
Yeah, I could grab them all and move them, or you guys could do it yourself too, I guess. But I could do it. You just want to move closer 30 feet? 5, 10...
Yeah, just move everybody, and we're gonna ramming
30.
speed. Not ram it. I'm not gonna ram it, but want to stay within range. I don't think we're gonna be able to outrun it. Yeah,
Okay.
towards the dragon.
All right, and then if you have any spells or anything like that, clearly sight is the thing. You do have Losslyn hanging out down there with you. If you like buffing or anything like that, it's definitely an option, or so on. So you still have your turn as a person to limit
I
it, of
have
course.
I have shield, so I think that works as a spelljammer, right? Can apply shield to the vessel or to the crew.
You if it's someone you could see, but not necessarily the ship. Or I don't know the stipulation on shield specifically, but it wouldn't work for the ship, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. If shield, counterspell requires sight. I will reach out and so Losland is down with me.
Yep.
Then for my action, I will haste Losland.
Very nice.
Hell yeah. Okay, and then if nothing else, we'll go to Losland himself.
All right. Also, we'll go ahead and use haste as the extra movement and try to get to the ladder well for those that are working on the Bautista. And then he'll upcast Bless so that all four of them up top will have Bless. And he'll just drop back down below decks and hold concentration.
Damn, nice. Do you mind typing out who you did that all for and everything?
Whoever the four were up top, I know some of them, but I don't think I know all of them. So I will do my best.
Okay, or if you know who you are, just keep in mind that you're blessed. So, or you can mark your token. I don't, however you need to do it. But awesome turn, Losland. Honestly, big help, kind of keeping it rolling. We're going to Flowbot. Mr. Jaeger will load the ballista. What are you gonna do, Flowbot?
Well, I think what happened last time worked well, so I'll hold my action to shoot again once it's all ready to go.
Okay, so you already got a take aim on you. You got it loaded. You do still need somebody to actually aim it. What's Pocket gonna do?
So, I'm initiative order 8. So should I wait until? Oh, I left. Where am I in initiative now?
Yeah, I guess I don't know if you had double rolled or something on accident earlier. I think you had the 17 initially.
No, I should have had an 8.
Okay,
but...
yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but I'll bump you down. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate you there too. So it actually would be the dragon's turn, and then this is just a tactics fight for me, so it's pretty simple on what I'm going to try to do as a nasty dragon. First off, he's going to try to regain his main ability, but he kind of sputters and coughs as he just got the proverbial wind knocked out of him. But he will stand. He'll stand up, and he'll do something I should have done initially and totally forgot, but oh well. He will bonus action phase. So he becomes incorporeal, kind of making him a little harder to pin down exactly where he is or what he's doing. And then he will just fly this turn. It looks like of course, that's... shoot, maybe I shouldn't do that, really. Oh, no, okay, that's fine. That's really all he can do. Well, I guess let me just double check 1 second, but I think that's all I'll do this turn. Because I got knocked down. Okay, yeah, I think that'll be it for me. Oh, I shouldn't have. I'm not playing him as smart as I should, but maybe I'm just saving the big guns. All right, go ahead, Karanis. You're up.
He is still out of. Yeah, he's still out of. I guess Karanis will pop up and do the next step on the ballista.
Okay, that should allow that to pop off as it did before. So keeping that rolling a little bit earlier than the last round as well. If you want to roll, but since he is incorporeal, that will. No, it is not disadvantage actually. But you can. So you're rolling with advantage, and you had a +2 or something.
I got a +2, and I have a bless. So that will make that, let's see. So it's a 16, that makes it a 20. Oh, I'm sorry. That makes it a 17. And I'm going to add a built for success to that to make that a 19.
Okay, so you will nail him again. You guys are working together pretty well to do the ballista thing. So that'll be
All right.
3d10.
3d10. 23. And I will add another superiority die to that for a 4, and he's got to make another strength save or go prone. So that's a total of 27 on that hit.
Is that a save?
Save. DC 15 strength save.
Okay, so he kind of shirks that one off. He'll take the damage, though, so that's whittling him down for sure. Doing the dance, but getting a little closer. Anything else there? You shot off, and then tick.
So how many ballistas do we have on this thing? Can we be working 2 crews?
There is only one ballista on there.
Actually, if someone else wants to take it over, I might do better with my crossbow now to these closer. So I can shoot multiple times with that.
Well, honestly, I think
No one can.
just barely hit like both those times. So,
all right, I'll keep
that.
I'll stay on the ballista.
Yeah. All right, so Tick will basically do the bosun thing and ready this one.
Okay.
Aim it.
Alrighty. Okay. And then we'll go to pocket.
All right. Pocket will. Do we have a take aim on the ballista yet?
Yes, I just took aim on the ballista. It
Yeah.
still needs loaded.
Okay. I'll load it, and can I cast Hexblade Curse on the dragon as a bonus act? Oh, it says it's
30
a
feet.
action in my. Sorry.
I think it has to be within 30 feet of you.
Ah, shoot. Yeah, you're right. Ooh. That is also, we could see within range, 90 feet. How far are we? I guess I could full. We want to be closer, right? Oh no, I loaded it already. Yeah, I think we'll.
If you want to go
that's
back,
all-
and you can retcon and full steam ahead if that's what you want to do.
But somebody needs to look. Lawson's, Pistadio's next. Yeah, I'll full speed ahead it.
Okay, so you'll roll a d6. And so the ship can go an extra 25 feet. That's pretty good. Okay. Anything else? You kind of, jump back. You're below decks. Kind of take a look at Bastadio and shout, "Full steam ahead! He's right there!"
Okay, so we're here-ish. Here-ish. Oh no, I didn't take everybody. Sorry.
It's okay. No one's
turn.
Alrighty, so move up 25 feet. So typically the Spelljammer still would do that, but it's okay if that's pretty much the plan anyways. But Bastadio, Spelljammer in question. You want to keep moving up the additional 30 feet?
And this thing's trying to dance around us. Let's get to it.
Okay, so I
Oh
think...
wait, sorry. So if I moved, now we're within 90 feet. Can I bonus action hex it now that we're within 90 feet?
So I think that's at 30 feet, right?
Oops, sorry, I did that wrong.
Hex. It's opposed to Hexblade.
Oh, okay.
Just straight up hex. They can't hex blade.
So I think this is honestly where things aren't going the way that they're supposed to in that sense, is because your turn was like you shouting to the Spelljammer, "Full steam ahead," and then on the Spelljammer's turn, he's moving the ship forward. So you weren't really supposed to move the ship on your turn.
Gotcha. Understood.
It's okay. It's a new kind of gameplay mechanics and stuff, so there's always some hammering out. But honestly, I think you could have moved a little closer. I don't know if you were like right here maybe, because you were about 105 feet away from him, 100 feet. So if you move 25 feet, you'd be like 80 feet away. And then if he wants to move his 30 feet, you'd be like 50 feet away. So let's just bump him forward, and maybe you want to measure that out. Somebody was just doing it.
Daddy!
So how's that?
Is it from the center or is it from the edge of the?
It's kind of edge to edge is the way I would think about it.
Okay.
So that's fine with me. That sounds good enough. All right. Anything else, Bastadio? I know I kind of usurped you there a little bit right there.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
that's the plan. That's good for me.
Okay. Maintaining that concentration, which actually I needed to do a check earlier myself, so let me do that. That wasn't fully right. It should have been a 17 actually, which would have been good enough, so I would have been okay, I think. Okay, sorry about that. I had to do an adjustment. Lachlan.
Okay, so Lawson's down by Bastido. What are some options that he can take as an action?
Well, you're within 50 feet of this thing now, so I know the distance isn't as much of a problem. Otherwise, I guess, depending on your officer rank, you might just load the ballista or something like that, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Since I'm hasted, I'll go up there and real quick try to load up the Batista and then drop down the ladder well.
Okay, so I think it had already been take aim, right? Someone already used take aim. So you're going to run up there and use both your actions to load it and aim it. So it's like primed and ready to go. That's right.
Turned on for Lawson.
Heck yeah. Every captain wishes they had a crew member that could work as fast as that. And Flowbot, they already got the ballista primed and ready for you if that's what you're trying to do.
Rolling with advantage, right?
Yep, you've got... Yep, go ahead.
All right. 32 to hit. Oh, it's a crit. I rolled a nat 20. So I'll add another 3d10 to that.
So run me through the numbers there real quick. Plus 16?
If you look, no, I rolled it at advantage, so it rolled a 20 and a 16 and kept the 20.
Okay.
And then there's a plus 8 for the plus 6 plus my plus 2 for ranged and a 4 for the bless.
Okay, cool. And then...
So 15 points, but since it was a crit, I
roll another 3d10.
3d10, another 3d10, and I of course am going to add my trip attack to that. So that's another 2d8, and he's going to have to make that strength save, DC 15 strength save. So that is a total of 39 damage on that.
Okay, he will take that. He is incorporeal, so it seems like he's not taking as much damage when that happens. But of course, he must pass a Constitution save after he gets hit.
Well,
And it looks like this one he will fail, actually. But then I guess I'll do Legendary Resistance, and so he'll succeed instead. So
Okay.
he's still incorporeal.
I'm going to action surge.
Then you said one more time, or real quick, you were gonna try to trip him, which looks like that did work. He just got tripped.
Oh, if he is
Well,
tripped,
actually,
then,
I'll just use my other legendary resistance to save. Never mind. He is not tripped.
all right.
use
Then
it if you got
I'm going to action surge, and I'm going to take a shot at him with my crossbow.
Okay, you whip the bow up. Try to take a quick shot. Oh my
Oh,
god!
another crit.
That's 2 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
wow. Well, I will use my last superiority die on that one. And another 2d8. So that's another 9 points, and he's going to have to make another save to trip. But
Yeah,
I'm out of
that one.
superiority die. Nice. No,
He did take. How much was the damage? 18
that would
total.
be 18. Yeah.
And if anything, you have burned him down out of resources. He's still incorporeal, but of course he's got to take the save, which he does. So he is still incorporeal. Anything else? Great turn.
That is it for Flowbot. Thank you everyone for setting Flowbot up. That Awesome.
Speaking of setting up, Jaeger will immediately load the ballista, and this dude is rolling ones on his recharge, so that's kind of foiling my my plans here. And so, dang it, I might not be able to do what I want to do anyways. I guess, yeah, I'm gonna have to be kind of lame about my turn, honestly, and just run away. Yeah, kind of lame, but dragon tactics. He just flies away trying to freaking recharge and is not able to, and really cannot do anything from here. So I'll end my turn. He can't really do much. You guys are keeping him on the run at least. Karanis.
So far away. Guess at this point, Kratos will pop up and take the first charge, take the first action on the ballista, and then of course bonus action to dash and duck back downstairs again.
Okay, so it was loaded. You go ahead and like aim it to the right position. I think that might keep you up on board though, if you're gonna like hold it steady to aim it.
Okay.
Okay, and then Pocket, you're up. It's been loaded and aimed.
All right. I'd like to. I think we are within range to Hex? Question mark.
I believe so.
All right. Can I bonus action Hex and then fire the gun?
So you could definitely do that. It's been loaded and aimed and everything. So you'll bonus action hex him and just try to take a regular old pot shot. Just a straight roll on this one.
All right, there we go.
1d20
Right,
plus 6.
yeah.
You can try crayons too.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you aim with your help of your friends and everything. You aim it true. Pop it off. That'll be 3d10 piercing plus a d6 of necrotic.
D6. Yeah, and that will be my turn.
All right, whittling him down with that, and I guess you could tell the aim here too to help would be to get him to not be so incorporeal. And taking a pot shot like that, he'll have to roll. And I think.
Oh wait, sorry. With Hex, can I give him disadvantage on con? Oh well, it's ability checks. So is a can I say Constitution for Hex?
Is the saving throw an ability check though?
That's true. All right, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that would qualify or not. I don't know.
Hex does not affect saves.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll do disadvantage on strength checks then.
Okay, and then let me see real quick. Just okay, so he passed the con save too there, so he's still incorporeal. Almost got him. All right, tick.
Bonus action, Hunter's Mark, and then I will do the bosun's action to aim at it again, and I'll be done.
All right, Pocket.
I just went.
Oh wait, you got added somehow twice. What? Why does this keep happening? Okay, Pistadio.
I don't see my what's it called? Do you guys see my Pocket in initiative in turn order? Because I don't see her.
I see her at.
On my
Oh, not anymore. She was at 8.
Something must be going on weird there. I'll call you out. You're right after Tick.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
No worries. Pistadio, what you got?
This wily bastard won't get away from us. Full steam ahead. Straight at it.
All right, I'll help you with that. So we go.
Thank you.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Trying to get it all squeezed in here. Moving in a little bit closer. looking like that's it. So Lostland.
I'll pop up and load the Batista, and possibly aim it if you allow it, and then drop back down.
So you'll have to stay up as same for Karanis did. But you pop up, you load it, you aim it, holding it steady. Flowbot, you're up.
I still have haste. That's why I asked.
Yeah, just if you're gonna aim it, you gotta like actually stand there holding it to aim it. Like hold, you know.
Right. Well, if it's loaded, aimed, and somebody's taken aimed, I will do what I always do, and 26 to hit, and 12 points of damage. I don't have anything to add to it anymore, so that's my turn.
Okay, and then he's just gonna have to botch the roll. Actually, I don't think he could really fail that one yet. You'd have to do a little more damage to him, but yeah, he's staying pretty incorporeal. You guys are whittling him down.
How's he looking? Is he looking bloodied yet?
For the sake of our time, we might just end up having to, like, we'll give it another 15 minutes if everyone's willing. But he's still good. He's a, you know, this is very hard, so he has a lot of HP. It just, you know, I guess sometimes you'll have people that can fly and shit too that could make this different. This is kind of interesting. You guys are a little more locked on the ship, but I mean, maybe a DM suggestion would have been to full
killed
steam.
my source of flying in first round before I could go.
I'm sorry, but the full steam ahead, that was good because that moved y'all like really quickly. So perhaps focusing on that wouldn't have been a terrible idea. But what do y'all think? Do y'all want to give it a little more time, or do y'all just want to, you know, do? Because we're a little bit past time. How's everybody feel about that?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I'm good for a couple more rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, he's taking these shots. Of course, the first thing he's going to try to do is get that recharge. I haven't been able to get it. Oh my god, it's been one every time, too. It's crazy. Okay, so with that... okay, finally. See, the only reason I didn't do anything before is it wouldn't have been the wisest choice for me. But he will fly in close, finally. Looks like... yeah, might as well. This is gonna. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep dancing around forever, which is honestly my plan. But I just can't freaking recharge. If I could recharge, I'd just fly up and blast you and run away again. But in desperation, he'll fly forward, and it looks like I would say probably Flowbot has been the main ballistaman. I'd say, kind of popping these shots off. So he flies in close, giving a nice look at the little robot, thinking, "Man, this probably won't taste good, but I'll try it anyways." And reach forward with a good old-fashioned bite. Oh shit! Time for me to hit a crit. Pocket's gonna turn it to a 30, so it's not a crit, so that's good.
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, so he will bite you, Flowbot. If it'll roll the damage, roll it. There it goes. So 16 piercing, 9 cold. And since he's a nasty dragon, he will follow it up with the claw at you for 21.
Dang. Okay.
And another claw for 23. He's a nasty boy.
Now, for that bite, does Flowbot take all the damage, or is some of that crit damage?
It wasn't a crit.
No, it's a good question though. I'm trying to see. I don't think it rolled crit damage.
It looks like it did. It looks like the 4 piercing and the 5 cold
Okay,
are
so
the crit,
it'd
are
just be
crit
16
damage.
then.
All right.
Yeah, good call. 16. And then on the claw, we'll have... why does it look like that? I don't know why the extra thing's coming in there.
It just looks like it's auto crit, so you would take the first numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, quite a bit of damage though, but 21 plus 16, 37 total on you.
I'm using my Shadowfell brand tattoo to have the first one down, so that'll go take it down to 8.
Alrighty.
And 8 and 13. All right.
I'm trying to think if I should. Got a few people on board up at the top right now. But yeah, I guess I'll play Devil's Advocate, whatever. Dang, I don't know if I'd really be able to get. Actually, I'll just hold here. Okay. Karanis, you're up.
Kras will bonus action steady aim, and then he will throw a psychic dagger. Does the 21 hit the dragon?
It does. What gives
Okay.
the steady aim, right? Go ahead.
The total of 25 psychic damage.
Okay.
And that was my bonus action and my action, and I'll stay up on deck. So I am done.
All right. Took a hefty blow there, and he will have to make that save. And it looks like he'll fail it though, because he did more than enough damage there. So he becomes corporal once again. And then after your turn, he will legendary action tail strike, and I really should be mean and go for a Flowbot, but I think I'm sorry. The DM in me goes, be mean. But he'll just try to swipe the dude who just hit him. That seems fair. He will.
Oh yeah, 20.
18 back
The,
to Karanis.
nothing about it.
Okay.
Oh wait, there is something I can do about it. I can have it. So yes, I will have it. Uncanny dodge.
Nice. Alrighty. All right, Tick.
All right. I look down at my lance and go, damn it. Then I draw my rapier and I stab this guy twice. That'll miss. 16 will probably miss as well. All right, I'm done.
Oh yeah, you kind of quake a little with this, massive adult dragon in your face, and you get close on that second one, but just shy. And you open the door for Pocket, though. What would you like to do?
Pocket will. Oh, both of these are bonus action. It is hexed. Yeah. Pocket will try to. Or does she do something weird? How do we feel about using the sucker on the ship?
Yeah, try it.
Certainly keep it close. Keep it from running away.
All right. Yeah, Pocket's gonna run over to whatever the apparatus that the sucker is, and we'll try to. And that's just a +3. Well, yeah, it's just a +3. Unless I switch to Hexblade Curse, so it's a +6 to damage roll there. So she'll bonus action Hexblade, drop Hex, Hexblade Curse it, and then try to sucker at it. Feels real weird.
I don't think you have to drop Hex. Explains curse isn't concentration, I don't think.
Plus, the sucker doesn't do damage, and looks like you're. I mean, I guess you would make it do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to help your to hit.
That's true, but I can't run away now, I guess.
But I mean, honestly, 26 is going to hit it no matter what. So with the let's I guess we'll just roll it through. You would do. You get a bonus to damage rolls against for your proficiency, so a 3 damage to it. Yeah,
Great.
something. That's okay.
Plus a D6 from Hex.
Oh yeah, plus yeah. Well, throw that little 5 on there.
Okay, nice. It is officially.
And it's
wait, it's like just above being bloodied, really.
well, I prepared it for what if anybody has any melee attacks.
You got it grappled there too and everything, and Bastadio. Nice use of the ship. I really like
Attached
that.
to it. Yeah, do we want to drag it anywhere? I don't think there's any terrain advantage, so yeah, I'll stay put.
You can come up on deck and shoot it.
Are we attached to it? Did the sucker work?
Yeah, it worked. So you are your speed is actually 0 right now in the ship until an action is used to release the target. So you could technically just get up off the spelljammer if you wanted to. You could, you know.
Yes, I would like to get on deck and blast it.
All right. So I think as it's grappled too, let's see. No wait. Yeah, it is grappled as well, so its speed would become 0. So I guess eventually, if you get out of the helm, the ship and the dragon would start to fall. But it would kind of just be a slow free fall in a void. So it's not like there's like any true danger of that right now. So if you still wanted to do that, you could.
Yeah, let's get up. Can I make it to top deck and see it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a pretty short ladder climb for this ship.
All right, I would like to get to top side and cast 4th level polymorph and turn it into a box turtle.
No, my legendary resistances. What kind of save is it?
It is a whiz save.
Come on, wisdom save. Does that count?
17. Does that have
Dang
advantage?
it. So close. What can I say? I guess this one will end fairly quick, which is good. You guys had a harrowing enough chase of cat and mouse. But yeah, you have a pretty badass plan, I would say. And as the designer of the ship, I'm very pleased that you were able to use one of the tools to get this done too. But against all odds, you fucking... excuse my language, but you run down and throw the levers on the ship as Bastadio turns it just the right way that you just plop this sucker right on to this sucker, not to this dragon. It just sucks right onto it. Kind of hanging there awkwardly. You feel that weightlessness, and you have a sense of all the ship there, Bastadio. So you instantly know when this happens. You kind of release your attunement, knowing that you're going to start to slowly fall, but you run up to the top, up the ladder, kind of a weird gravity pulling you in an odd direction. You cast your magic successfully, turning this dragon into a tiny little turtle that I guess would probably like fall out of the sucker and start to like drift a little bit in space there, kind of just alongside your ship. Do you have anything else, Bastadio?
End of turn.
This I think is going to be a pretty epic finish. Lostland, there you see a little turtle.
Are there any stars nearby?
I'll just go ahead and I'll load the ballista and aim it, and then
Oh my
that's it. I won't fire it, but it's loaded and ready to go either way.
Flowbot, what do you think? One last ballista shot?
Oh, well, if it's a turtle,
I say no.
Would it break the polymorph?
yeah, it'll break the
I guess it would
polymorph.
too, huh? What are y'all going to do?
I think, gosh,
Go ahead and
I
break
don't
it.
know what to do.
Yeah, let's break it. Let's polish it off. We're just having fun.
All right. Well, I'm not going to use the ballista if he's this close. I think I'm better off with my swords. So I will. Yeah, I'll attack him with my short swords. 25 for 8.
So some of that will carry over, of course, but it'll revert back.
23 for 5.
So it'll take a total of 10 damage is what I'm looking at so far.
And then I'm gonna bonus action. I'm going to do my second wind to get some HP back. So, and that will end my turn right there. But
Man, I thought you were totally about the bag of holding that thing.
I was wanting to throw it into a star or something. Yeah, throw it into a stun.
Sorry,
Yeah,
John.
we've got an
I thought
hour.
I had
Yeah.
catapult ready. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to retcon and role play it out, I could certainly throw a hint of something funny to do there too. That would make sense with the area. If you did want to not break the polymorph.
Yeah, I would prefer to not break the polymorph.
Okay, so I think that's a pretty fitting end. No one has a bag of holding though, or a portable hold,
No.
or something like that.
Not with me. I
I
have
guess
one
portable
back.
hold maybe wouldn't work, but okay. But I think the star thing definitely works, and you have an hour. And the funny thing is you don't even have to use a star, because if you look at your garden handout, there is a moon here in garden called Sun Sun, and you can imagine what that is. It's the son of the sun in a way. So I'm willing to give a gimme here to where it really, I mean, you're in the same little like complex of satellites around this planet, so I couldn't imagine that the travel time would be very great anyways, but you'll have to perfectly align the timing of it, and you cast this little turtle into Sun Sun.
We let Jaeger cast a turtle into Sun Sun.
Like one dry tear falls down his face. Thank you. With this, I'll finally be free, as he casts it in. And of course, we do still have a bit of a closeout after the fight. The battle ends there, quite ingeniously, if you ask me. Definitely after a little bit of cat and mouse, so still pretty fun. Great use of the ship mechanics. Great teamwork, and I appreciate you guys for everyone being like real efficient with it and stuff, and it was awesome. But it ends, and Jaeger thanks you, and he flies with you back to the Rock of Brawl. Blood and wreckage from this battle kind of drift lazily in the gravity plane of the enemy. But victorious, you have sated the revenge of a vampire who shakes each hand with vigor. I never thought I'd be able to escape my shackles with this beast haunting my dreams and pursuing me so doggedly. I feel great shame, but I will return to my brother and reveal to him what I have become. Nay, what I have always been. And he seems to have a pretty great weight lifted off his shoulders. And he says, shortly after my rebirth, I picked up this jacket in an attempt to embrace my new life. But really, it never truly failed to remind me of who I really was deep inside. I think I should turn a new leaf now, and I don't see myself needing this now. I'd like you to have it. And he passes off a kind of special cloak of the bat. It's called Jaeger's Reminder, and it has the conscientious property. So it's I'll post a better thing for you to copy down later. But it's a black leather jacket in coolest fashion that is conscientious. So anytime you contemplate doing something bad, it'll give you like a pang of conscience to kind of remind you. That's just like one of the minor properties that is super fitting. So he gives that to you guys. And after that, reunited, and it feels so good. Flying back to the Rock of Brawl is quite simple, cheerful trip. The familiar docks, by now, of course, of the Low City, are still in their chaotic normalcy, as if no time has passed at all since leaving. Estrin eagerly awaits the final word of the deal as Jaeger traipses off towards a reliable scrap and more. And the potato-shaped asteroid has came into view here at the docks of Brawl. Jaeger immediately hops off the deck of the enemy and disappears into the crowd. Estrin asserts that he must be off in the direction of a reliable scrap and will join you in quickly following him in hopes to finally secure this part at long last. A few minutes later, you stand awkwardly in the back of the oily shop as you witness an intimate moment between the brothers. The tough vampire you have grown to respect seems to quake before his final task here. You see Jaeger speak to his brother, clearly revealing his doings before and after he was killed. Silence kind of fills the area before it's broken by an exasperated cry from Jaeger. Or from Rager, sorry, I confused myself. But he hugs his long-lost brother for minutes until he kind of finally looks up above his older brother's shoulder to see your group standing there. The shopkeeper kind of stands up, wipes his eyes, and beckons you forward. Estrin takes the lead, asking you to hang back as she begins to negotiate to an agreeable sum. She returns to the party, broadcasting a cheerful emotion telepathically. The deal has been made. And with the Mind Flayer's technology and ability to travel to great depths, Rager has found a new business partner as well, to replace his brother, if you will. And Estrin hands over the remaining reward for completing her task, the additional 500 gold, and says, "Next stop is the water world of Carpri. You have already been of great assistance, and I hope you will follow me back to the anemone to help crew the vessel. An important artifact awaits below the depths. With this new part, the space anemone ship will survive the crushing depths." And so, in conclusion here, whether you're heading back to the docks for part 3 of this module, which I'll try to write as fast as I possibly can, or off to another unknown future, your group's parting is interrupted by Jaeger crashing through the door of his old shop as you leave. Breathless, the Pale Man thanks the group for not only freeing him from piratical tyranny, but also from the weight of abandoning his brother. "My bandit days are truly over, as well as this scrapping, of course. Nothing else is truly in sight, and I came to ask your captain if I may come along as a crew member." The Illithid calmly turns towards the party, and since you guys have traveled and battled alongside the vampirate, she says, "I believe you should be the ones to judge his character. And so, before we part, what do you guys think? Would you think you'd give this vampirate a third chance in life?"
As long as he stops calling himself a privateer, because that's just lame. Yes.
Yeah. Why not? He definitely means well and has a good conscience, although it seems like he gave it away to us. Hopefully there's enough left to keep a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay, with no objections, everyone will earn a story award called A Third Chance. My idea was to kind of crew the ship for you. There actually was a missing crew member for this adventure today, just because no one had played the first one, except for Tom there. That's why I was kind of asking. It was a Triton woman from back in Toril, but maybe you'll get to meet her one day. But for now, if you come back and play the third one, or go back and play the first one, weirdly enough, I guess I could probably throw him in there. But Jaeger will be on the ship. So you'll get a story award I'll include for that. And just to wrap it all up, if you do have any kind of like feedback or anything along the way, for sure message me on, even story beats, different things. Clearly I'm trying to keep it within a 2-hour mark, which I think we exceeded by quite a bit. But we also weren't like at a super fast pace either of gameplay. So I think that's fine. But if y'all do have any kind of call outs, just message me, or you can put it in the DM Talysis chat. Doesn't have to be a big deal as far as like anonymous or whatever. Like, I'm cool with any kind of feedback. I'll definitely try to incorporate it in the final product as best as I can. That being said, you guys earn 1,000 gold to split between the 6 of you, so we can do that math, and I'll have that in the handout that I'll post in the server. You guys have received a packet of smoke powder, so that's 5 bullets to use with the gun if you have one. And speaking of a gun, there was a musket that went to the one and only Flowbot. And you got the story award called A Third Chance. You already know what it does, but I'll give you the handouts for the text. I'll post it. There's also Jaeger's Reminder, which is mechanically a Cloak of the Bat. But it does have like the flavor text, the minor property of conscientious. It does look like a cool black leather jacket, and anytime you do something or consider doing something bad, it kind of gives you a little pang of regret or kind of like wisdom, a little conscious, kind of saying, "Oh man, I shouldn't do that." But yeah, also you got some service hours. There would have been 4 at this point. So
Cool. A lot of fun.
Pretty cool. Does this adventure have a code yet?
Oh, it sure does. It's SJ-DC-NMB 1-02, and then it's called Kindred Spirits.
Yeah, if you can just go back to the title page.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me do that. Yeah, this will be the cover. I've ran the first one on our server like 3 times. I'm sure I'll run them again at a certain point. I put them on. They're on DM's Guild published for like $1. I'm not really trying to make bank off of it or anything, but it's up there if you're curious or ever want to check out the first one. It's definitely already published on DM's Guild. It's called An Enemy after the ship, so it's up there. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hope y'all liked it.
Yeah, I loved
you
it.
so
Thank
much.
you, Callie. Good game, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey,
Enjoy
see
the
y'all.
weekend.
Two
Thanks,
See y'all
Callie.
later.
Yeah, have a good
Callie.
holiday.
for people in the
Bye-bye.
U.S. Happy
Good
Canada
weekend.
Day for people in Canada. See ya.